Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground. Shit.
Radio Underground, episode 51. We're sitting here watching King Crimson videos and shitting all over them. I'm with Al and Brian as usual. Hello, Al.
What's up?
Hello, Brian.
Episode 51, the Puerto Rico episode.
Yeah.
The 51st state.
Back by popular demand from himself, Jay is here.
I braved the elements.
Yeah. You walked over.
I could have.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Do you walk over here or not?
No, but can I give a shout out to whoever runs the street plowing? It was amazing today because minus the side streets, gross spec, perfect. Freeways.
His name's Robert.
Robert?
They did
No,
a
it
great
really
job.
is.
Well, we usually like to complain about stuff, but I'll give credit where credit's due. I was expecting a rough ride to Royal Oak, and I got there in the exact same time if it was July.
Yeah, for the city, it's Robert. I know that. But I know they're still plowing. My street was getting done when I was leaving. So they're doing all the side streets tonight.
Phil's saying bad things about you, Brian.
Well, yeah, it's because I was talking shit in the group chat.
I seen the
Not so
same,
much about him,
the same
more
thing
about-
shared today that was like, if you need help plowing your driveway or your wife, I'm available on weekends.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
saw that shared about 15 times a day on Facebook.
Oh, my God, so many times.
Could be the bold
It's a good joke.
Made me laugh every time.
cuck.
Only available on weekends, though. That's the best part.
Yeah.
See, look, that thing,
King Crimson's weird.
it's got like a bass and a guitar all
I think he's
in
playing a
one in
toaster
there.
right now.
Dude, I don't even know what that is.
It's like
Yeah, I
Tool
don't know.
meets Genesis meets Vice City. I don't know what
that's a fair assessment.
I mean, like,
It looks
the
like-
dude's mustache is like glorious. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's 1982, so I mean, I guess.
Dude, Tom Selleck was jealous of that mustache.
Fuck, I'm telling you,
7/9 of these guys look like pedophiles.
7/9.
Yeah. Sit down. I'm going to have to sit King Crimson down here.
The guy playing guitar with the glasses looks like every guy that works for a rich guy who like covers up his like kid pornography.
Yeah.
Like the guy that's an 8mm.
Like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction.
No, he'd be more like your not like
The guy who covers helps you clean stuff up.
well,
The
it looks
cleaner.
like it's going to be another pedophilia episode here.
We gotta keep the streak alive.
Underground.
He is. Everybody else is wearing like Don Johnson Miami Vice shit. He's wearing a fucking tuxedo. Thomas Hayden Church, as you called him, Jay,
Yeah.
is just wearing the brightest yellow shirt.
He's just beating on an oversized cigar box with a drumstick right now.
And that, yeah, look at that freaking thing. It's like two bass necks fused together with extra strings and then cardboard at the bottom. I don't know what the fuck that is.
What is he? Is he playing Emmett Otter's instrument there? That one?
It kind of looks like it.
He did get stuck in a loop of animatronic style.
This dude, like, he just never moves. He's got the bow tie.
But he's just going. Like,
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to
awesome.
put a link to this video in the YouTube video.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
because so people can see this.
if you
for
want to,
themselves.
if you want to see like how bad something really sucks, here it is.
I know it does feel like we're just Beavis and Butthead right now watching music videos.
Yeah,
that
we're
people-
describing them very
that
well.
people can't see.
Yeah.
This is when everybody tunes out.
Yeah.
It's King Crimson live in Munich, 1982.
So it took me an entire week.
There are 10 keys on that,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so it's a lot of strings.
So if we would have done like last week's setup, we would have been able to show the video and shit on it. But I just didn't have. I don't know. I wasn't very comfortable with how the thing went last week, and I had a lot of shit going on this week. But we are gonna do video in a couple weeks. We're gonna
get it on. Don't worry.
and we're gonna go to one of those sites that stream everything to everything. So we're gonna be on like Twitch and all
Yeah,
of it.
I checked that out earlier after you mentioned it. It is awesome.
Restream.
Yeah.
and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think they're all dancing together.
Can you blur me out of that video?
It's,
Yeah,
We can do that.
Pixelate me.
You got to sign a waiver anyway.
Well,
so-
actually, I can just turn it towards them like I did last week, and they'll just hear your voice.
just until we get a multicam set up, yeah.
Because I'm like the one guy that comes over here that all the people that actually know you guys don't know, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
a lot of them.
I mean, a
do.
lot of people we know do know you, though,
Yeah,
because band stuff.
I know when the people that have like chatted on there, the people that have called
They
on
don't
the
know you.
Clems, they have no idea what I look like.
No.
I'd rather keep it that way. Don't put
The
a
Discord people? No, none of them.
don't put a face to a name.
yeah, a lot of them don't know me either. I mean, they're just now getting to know me, really.
Or I'll just wear luchador masks. Fuck all you.
I've never met any of them. Well, Morgan and Jeff I have, but Phil and all those guys, no, I've never met them.
They know what you look like when you tag stuff on our page, though, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Well, is your profile picture you?
My profile picture is the back of my head
Is it?
and my dog.
Smart.
See, I don't even have any social media, so I mean, I don't have Facebook anymore.
And your social media profile pic is
it still Peter Griffin or is it Johnny Cash?
So you're not on
no,
MySpace?
I think it's you, but it's you with the long hair and the.
Oh yeah.
You're not on MySpace right now?
No.
That's the new thing, guy.
That one's down right now.
I'm on regular forums, like mid 2000s forums.
Dude, I remember when MySpace came out, and I had 3 people on there, 3 friends, and I had 500 friends, but 3 of them were regular people, and everybody else was a fucking porn star or a musician.
Was it 3 plus Tom or not including Tom?
I think that included Tom. And then I had because one day all of a sudden Mike's sister's like, "Why you got all those fucking nasty porn stars on your MySpace page?"
Oh, that sounds like Kate.
Why don't you get?
Yeah.
Hang on, real quick. Let me get the wholesome porn stars.
Yeah.
I'm like, she goes, "You're fucking gross." I'm like, "Yep."
Hey, just being honest.
Hey.
Yeah, Morgan's talking shit. Yes, I have gotten lazy, Morgan, and I'll get lazier as it goes.
Tom,
Morgan's gotten lazy.
Tom from MySpace.
Mister, I missed the fucking 1 year anniversary. Call me
He
lazy.
missed everything. He doesn't even chat in our group chat anymore. He's so lazy.
Yep.
Yeah, Tom from MySpace did it right. He fucking got out of the game,
Yeah.
cashed out, and he just travels the world and has a good life. And
I would too. He sold that shit. He sold that, huh?
is it still an active thing?
Well,
No
at
clue.
one point, Justin Timberlake had part ownership in it.
Of
and they
MySpace?
and they were revamping it.
At one point, they were trying to revamp it to be more of a music.
Yeah,
thing.
I remember that.
I do know that.
But he had a 20% stake or something, and he had bought into it. This was probably close to. I mean, it had to be 7-8 years ago at least.
I only have enough patience for one social media thing to focus on at a time. So right now, I'm still on the Facebook thing.
Well, for a while, if you went on to MySpace, it was like if you went back to a civilization that was frozen by a volcano. It was stuck at 2000,
Pompeii.
2008 or something.
You can't delete it.
It was 2008, and everybody stopped all at once. So it wasn't just my profile; it was everyone's profile was 2008 or before.
Well, and then 2 years ago, they went through and just deleted millions of profiles.
Of inactive ones.
Yeah.
Because I tried to delete mine maybe, I don't know, not even 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it was jumping through hoops to try to delete it.
Yep.
You got to a point where you hit a wall and you're like, I guess I'll just leave it in limbo wherever.
Well, because I had one that I made shitty music at home and then posted on, and I called Cosmic Key. And I tried to get some of that music back, and the shit was gone. They went through and deleted 3 million accounts.
I did that too. I was making bullshit techno music on my computer.
Mine was just a mishmash of stuff, yeah. But there's one song I really liked, and I don't have a copy of it anymore.
Yeah, I lost all my shit. I had the Lord Deathspit stuff.
That's right, you did.
And the one I didn't want I wanted to have back was Kids Are Bad.
Kids Are Bad. That was
And
good.
I lost it.
Mine was called Brain Cloud,
Yeah.
and it had clips from Joe versus the Volcano in it.
Nice.
And
But now I can't find that song anymore.
And then when Craig came into town from Utah,
Yeah.
we had a freakishly warm day, but there was snow still out there. And then the power line got yanked down, and I lost my computer and I had an external hard drive with all the song, everything I recorded, all the early Radio Underground recordings, when we were on FM.
Yeah.
It's all gone forever.
All gone.
Oh man,
That's why I don't have it. That's why I was gonna, if I had that shit, I would have it on tap for if we had to take a week off, I would play something from 2004.
Yeah, right.
or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and put it on here. But
best of.
it got to because back then it was real easy to record from Windows. Windows just allowed you to record because of piracy and stuff. You can't do that anymore. But I had pretty much all our broadcasts, everything recorded.
Man.
Now I don't
miss
have
it.
shit.
I had another one. Actually, Craig made it, though, but it wasn't. What's the song? Is The Freaks Come Out at Night?
Freaks come out. Is that Herbie
Like
Hancock?
Houdini.
Craig made a version
yeah.
of that called The Creeps Come Out at Dusk. It was really awesome. I love the beats of that. I
Phil,
don't have it anymore.
what are you talking about? What the hell is like and subscribe? I don't know what that is.
Stop making stuff up. Shut up.
Like when I was making the bullshit techno music on my computer, and I was at OU at the time, and I had these 2 black dudes in my class. They were they would act thuggish, but they really weren't, and that
Yeah.
was the joke between them. And they always talk about fish and chips, and I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. I thought it's fucking food. It took me forever to realize they were talking about fish and chips meant pussy and money. And so when I started making music, that was just the first song till I was like, we're just going to call this one Fish and Chips. It's like this hip hop beat. But those dudes were so fucking funny, man. It was like, they'd always be like, fish and chips, fish and chips. It just means pussy and money.
But didn't you have a name, an alter ego name type thing?
On that one, I just did like R2J4, just some bullshit.
Oh, before that,
I thought you were Optimus Rhyme.
Yeah, that's when I had an aspiring rap career in high school.
Yeah, that's right. That was before that. So okay.
And then it turns out, I think Ed Mann or Andy or somebody burst my bubble and let me know that there's like 100 different people that
Optimus
have
Rhyme.
Optimus
Yeah.
Rhyme, whether it's like a band or a rap group.
Yeah.
So then I had to think of like alter egos for that. The rap career never took off, but then it was going to be MC Sportin' Good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And no one else had that at the time, so that would have been a good one.
Damn, genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's no MC Sports left, is there?
Yeah.
I love how they tried to bring that back. Like, just everyone goes to Dick's or Dunham's. Just stop.
Are you willing to pay 4 times the price of any other department store to go to MC Sporting Goods?
Or just to order it online and get it cheaper, you know?
Yeah, their prices were too. A lot of them stores, they just couldn't compete because here's a $78.50 for like a batting gloves.
Even like
it was terrible.
Even Dick's seems kind of expensive on a lot
Dick's
of
is
stuff.
expensive, man.
Yeah.
Expensive Dick's.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever bought anything from MC Sports.
Oh, I did. I bought shoes and stuff from back in the
I don't
day,
think
but
I
there
ever
was
did.
nothing else though at that time.
Where did you get your roller pucks at for street hockey, dickhead?
I'm talking about like,
Dunham's.
when I was like 14, 15, I used to go there. And it's funny because just over the last few years, I would go into Johnny's and drink after work. And I would drink with this old fart. And he was the manager, the general manager at the one in Roseville when I was growing up. And I'm like, dude, you used to run MCs. He's like, yeah. I'm like, he goes, yeah. He actually, dude, he went in as a manager and like they were like on the verge of tanking. Like all of them were ready to close in the 80s. And he came in and turned this one around and then went to like 7 more and turned them all around and made them all profitable.
He's the fixer.
Yeah. And basically they're like, he got like, they gave him like, he gets paid for the rest of his life. He's 83 years old. He gets a salary the rest of his life. He gets like,
paid till next year.
Yeah, basically. But he retired, and they're like, you're basically a lifer here. If you ever want to work, you can work. If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. Here's a salary.
It's like you were just saying, like they were going to go to biz. Man, you call him the wolf? And then they just send Harvey Head all over to fix up fucking Dunham's.
Yeah.
You go up there, buy something, motherfucker. You're like, okay. People start just buying shit out of fear.
Oh.
I need a fishing rod.
Where's your weights at?
Yeah.
This King
I'll just buy this 135-pound dumbbell. I don't need the other. I'll just buy this.
The only thing I ever buy for my kids from Dunham's is every year for baseball, they always have cheap cleats. Like Easton cleats or something.
I used to love that the old cheap cleat smell. You'd go in the cleat. It would like remind me of baseball.
Oh yeah.
And then I would be mad that I had to practice during the summer.
It's weird. It's weird too because like athletic attire brands, if they get too popular, then they become like a cool brand, and then you see all the prices go up. Like Champion, for a while, was like a sought after brand. When I was growing up, Champion was like the shit you bought from Kmart because it was cheap.
Yes.
Yeah, it was dirt cheap. You
Yeah.
didn't have to pay nothing for it.
And then Everlast was another one that was super cheap, but the only reason it had a peak was because it was the boxing brand for the longest
because
time.
Mike Tyson and everything.
Yeah. And then you think about it like, it all goes kind of in circles because when I was in junior high and high school, Fila was all the rage because the Grant Hill shoes.
right.
And Fila's a fucking joke now, right?
It is.
I didn't know they still existed.
Unless
so,
you're
yeah.
Eastern European, Slavic.
But they like their
And
Adidas.
the fucking Adidas jumpsuits they wear.
Yeah, but like Nike and Adidas and Reebok too. Like those have like stood the test of time. There were like Russell Athletic or like McGregor or all these like fucking whack ass brands.
Yeah.
Those are all Kmart brands. too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Really.
What was the
isn't
one
it?
that-
Well, Converse. I mean, I have Chucks, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
Con-
know,
Converse tried
But
to be like-
regular
but they're-
Converse, you
regular
don't see.
Converse, it's just
It's just Chuck Taylors.
They just bank on the fact that a lot
Isn't
of
it?
people love Chucks still.
But they
and
did
make all
try to
different
do
kinds.
like they did try to do athletic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
like for the longest time, and it always just was like, no, this is for the fringe kids, like the grunge
Yeah.
kids is what it is. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I mean, the early '90s. I mean, I had like either I had the standard white with the gray stripe Reebok or the gray star with the standard white Converse high top.
Hey, are you looking for shoes with 0 ankle support?
So bad. So bad. And they're so flat-footed.
Yeah. Phil says Nike bought Converse. Yeah. I remember
Oh, really?
that.
Yeah.
I would just for the Chuck, just to have the Chuck Taylor name.
I mean, to be honest, now that he says that, it makes perfect sense. There's probably 2 companies that own all the companies we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's always the funny thing is that someone you don't necessarily like Taco Bell's owned by Pepsi. Like they own everything. Like Pepsi owns.
Well, actually, they sold it to Yum Brands. Yum Brands owns them and KFC now.
Well,
It's not Pepsi anymore.
My dad just brought something up yesterday.
Pepsi owns Amazon. You kidding me?
We were
I know
listening.
that.
When I got in the car with my dad yesterday, we were listening to WWJ News Radio 950.
Yeah, who owns them now?
And it's 100 years old.
Yeah.
1920. They were the first to broadcast on the air. And my dad's like, yeah, but they're WDIV now. I go, no, they're not. They're WWJ. He goes, well, no, the original, like on TV, I go, Dad, but still, it's still WJ. I go, and he's trying to say, like, he was trying to, like, tell me that, like, all these things are changed, these channels have changed. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, but that's because, like, 4 companies own every radio and every TV.
It's Clear Channel.
Clear Channel or iHeartRadio.
Well, for a long time, it was like Viacom, and like there was like hardly anybody that owned anything.
Well, that's
now they're all it's like what 4 companies or less.
Well, it's like the illusion of competition, and it's actually fucking genius.
Yeah.
You just buy your competition, keep them your competition, so it makes every consumer think they're doing their thing still.
Well, that happened to us yesterday because I needed to get a battery for my car because it sucks. So I'm like, oh, I'll look up Advance. And it's like, Advance had a really cheap battery because I don't want to put money into my car. It fucking sucks. So we're trying to find the cheap battery. And it's like, it's at this location, at this address on Gratiot. I'm like, there's no Advance there. We're talking about like between 12 and 13 Mile on Gratiot.
Yeah.
I know exactly what place you're going to say.
Yeah. And I'm like looking and it's like, it says CarQuest. I'm like, wait a second. It's United Auto.
Yeah.
Because Advanced Auto Parts owns CarQuest Network. So they don't own these stores, but they own the network that these stores get their stuff through.
And United is basically still an
so they still hold an
independent.
independent. Like we're an independent store.
They basically,
but they're really not.
And then greed has gotten a lot smarter. Like big business greed before, it was like cocky, like dick swinging. It's like, let's buy this fucking mom and pop and let's make it one of our franchises. We need to have our name on it. Now it's like, no, we're buying you. Keep doing exactly the fucking thing you do. It gives everybody the illusion that you're still a mom and pop or you're still an independent business, and it's genius. It's fucking genius.
It really is.
I want to be bought out by a bigger. I want Clear Channel to buy out Radio Underground.
Yes,
We can do what
please.
we want. Come on, guys, we're going to take care of you.
The one thing, the one thing you see that
Cool.
really fucking sucks about that is Live Nation has bought a lot of the concert venues, and have completely like ruined the concert going experience. Like one example is like St. Andrews Hall holds 1,000. I think
so,
capacity.
yeah.
And they have the balcony up there. And I remember before, if you go to a show that's not quite sold out, you got the option of main floor, or maybe I just want to have the bird's eye view from the balcony. Went to a punk rock show, and there was nobody up there, and I'm like, awesome, let's go to the balcony. We get stopped by a security guard up there. It's like, whoa, VIP only at a punk rock show. And we're like,
VIP.
And we're like, okay, there's fucking nobody up there. So what it was the tickets for the show.
I'm a heroin addict. Am I VIP at a punk show?
Well, the tickets were like, $20. I found out later on that night they had cocktail tables at the top with chairs, candles, and it was $200 a table.
For a punk show?
Yes,
And fuck you, that ain't punk.
and there was no one up there, so they would rather have, it's like sporting events. They'd rather have an empty arena than lower the prices and get people in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's how you see, like when you go to buy tickets now, you can't just buy the fucking ticket. Without the fees suck, but then now I went to go buy tickets the other day, and they added a donation to a youth music group that I could not. It was a mandatory donation, and then they want to charge me $20 for coat check.
If it's mandatory,
Did
it's
you
not
have
a
a coat?
fucking donation. It's a price to
Did you have a coat?
something.
No, the show's not even till March. I was so turned off by the whole experience that I didn't even buy the fucking tickets.
Jeff from Hillbilly Havoc's here. Hello, Jeff. Where were you guys last week?
Yeah.
No
when we
Phil.
need you, when you
no
promised to be
fucking
here.
Morgan. No Jeff.
All
Now you're-
new.
I finally got a fourth guest here. We got a full boat, and then here you guys all are.
All new too. They all knew. They all
You
knew.
all
it was
knew
the
what it meant to
anniversary.
me.
Jeff and Morgan promised. They were
Yeah.
actually supposed to come into town originally.
Yeah.
And they're like, no,
Well,
we'll just be on the Discord, and they didn't show up.
Yeah. No, I did Ixnay Morgan coming into town. I'll give him that.
I know.
But there's a lot of issues happening here. But
I was trying to make it feel
Discord, though, you weren't there. Work, hockey, whatever.
People want to come to Michigan this time of year?
Morgan was going to come.
No.
To his credit, he was going to show.
No.
He would. Morgan actually likes snow because he didn't have to grow up with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to be mad when this is like the second snowfall we've had, and the first one was in November.
And half of it melted already.
This ain't shit.
Yeah, like when we first went to go shovel, Janine's like, "Oh fuck, it's raining." I'm like, "No, that's going to make the shoveling heavier, but considerably easier." When you got that light, fluffy shit that just blows around,
Yep, it
that
just comes
fucking
right back on.
sucks shoveling.
Yeah, and then it gets all down your back, your neck, and
Yeah.
it hurts.
It took you guys an hour and a half though,
An hour and some change, yeah.
and you guys.
We got the corner lot, so we did.
Oh, but I got a double lot,
yeah.
so mine's just probably more still. But
So we did both sidewalks, we did both drives, and I did it like about 3 feet into the street because I didn't know if they're going to plow, and that's when you get fucked. When you don't go into the street far enough, and then you just get that nice wall, like 2-3 foot wall of ice.
yeah. Well, what time did you guys go out though?
11.
Yeah, I was out at 9. Maybe there was a difference, but
Right when it started raining, she's like, "We should probably go do this now." So okay.
I got out before the rain and I got the salt.
I started doing it real early.
Probably when you got home at like 5 o'clock.
No, I didn't right away. I waited because it was still coming down, so I waited till about 7:30. But it was way easier to move at that point compared to when I went out later on to finish up, because I got it pretty good, but I didn't do it all the way because there was a lot. It was blowing all over. But yeah, then I waited until the weather, oh man, it got warmer. Holy crap!
How many
I couldn't move that
listeners
stuff.
will you guys get if we just talk about snow shoveling for
Well,
2.5
I just
hours?
want to finish my story. So I went out at like 9, and I do
Your
mine
double lot.
and like I said, I have a double lot. So you have the corner lot, but I still don't think you have
Phil's
as much
making fun
sidewalk
of you
as me.
showing
Because
showboating about your
mine's-
double lot.
My lot is 160 wide, so I have 160 feet of sidewalk.
Ooh, do you have a siren like Valeni?
Yes. So I had to do 160 feet of sidewalk plus the driveway and the walk up to the house. But
Do you have a lighthouse facing the ocean?
I still got it done. Even talked to my neighbor for a while.
I got a lazy
45
neighbor. I
minutes.
shoveled in front of her house. Does that count?
Yeah.
With the people that live in my old house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty lazy.
Well, he's not there anymore, so.
Oh, so she won't do it.
Oh, she ain't doing it. She ain't never do it.
My neighbors are that older couple, and their snow service comes, the people they hire, at like 5 in the fucking
Yep.
morning.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And-
that's great.
And just, it's so loud.
Well, we lucked out too because, like I said, the plows were coming down the street when I was leaving. But the neighbor down the street has two of my neighbors have the 4-wheelers with the plow attachment on the front, and they came down and did both sides of the street and went up the driveways and got everything cleared out. We didn't even need a plow on my fucking street.
Oh, I got the guys with 4-wheelers.
Did they have a
No, just 4-wheelers.
just 4-wheelers? These guys had the plows, and they're actually doing a good service
Just for their own pleasure.
They're like driving around and like just pushing stuff. I know what you're talking about.
There is like this, like, when it does snow like this and it gets like really bad for those day or two, there's like this lawlessness that's kind of like you don't
Yeah.
got to worry about stop signs as much. You don't gotta, like it's kind of fun.
Well,
For, like,
I don't stop at a stop sign because I'll get stuck. I have to go. If there's no one coming the other way, I go right through. I have no choice.
Well, Alan can attest to this. My tires are bald as fuck. So if I stop, I'm probably not starting again because I have no traction
Right.
whatsoever.
I think the kids say
Do you,
AF.
Mike, do you not have, do you have bad tires or something? Or just.
No, I don't have the 4-wheel drive. Doesn't work in that truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a fucking F-150, and everyone's like, "What's your problem?" They're like behind me getting mad. I'm like, "I'm worse off than you. This fucking thing's only the 4-wheel drive doesn't work on it. It fucking the chain that hooks up to the. It's that when it was like the year they switched from, the manual like lock the
Yeah,
fucking
right.
actual tires
Lock
to
the hubs, yeah.
to the switch.
Right.
Well, the switch fucking it got broke.
That sucks.
Okay.
Typical Ford.
Yeah.
Well, it
road
is.
dead.
What,
No, the
how
motor-
old is it?
Well, it's a 2001, I think.
Okay.
Fix or repair daily. I love the cliche fucking brand loyalists. Are
Yeah.
so good.
I loved my
You know-
F-150. I had a King Ranch leather.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
It was.
Oh no, I'm thinking of this Chevy you had.
Yeah, the
No,
transfer
before-
case. That's
yeah.
what it's called, and it keep breaking my chain over and over again.
Yeah.
Break the
fucked
chain.
up.
Unchained.
And they said it was $1,500, or I could attempt to do it. Have my uncle do it, and he's like 70 now, and I don't know if I want to bother him.
No.
Just get a few bags of salt, throw them in the back, so you got some weight,
But yeah, I'm basically
and then
worse
keep
off.
some good tires on it.
Yeah,
You know,
Screw
I'm worse off than someone in a sedan, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Some of the sedans now are better than.
I don't know. I drove a 1992 Ford Ranger 2-wheel drive for 13 years. So I mean, I just threw weight in the back and made sure I had really good tires on it in the winter.
Who's worse in this weather? Is it too fast, big dick truck guy or little dick truck guy, or is it slow person who's going way too cautious?
Only because I've never been the truck guy, I'm going to say the truck guy.
It's truck guy.
Yeah,
It's
I hate
gotta
it
be.
because they're like, I got 4-wheel drive. It's like, you don't got 4-wheel stop, motherfucker.
I like when you just see him go down the embankment. You're like, all right, see you later, man.
That's what you get.
You see him
If he
ripping-
dies, he dies.
Or the whip past you to get around, and then you see him break loose, even though they got 4-wheel drive that you think they can't break
Yeah.
loose. All of a sudden, there he goes. He's
The ones that kill me are the ones that put all this money into like lifting their truck and putting all this stuff on it, and they drive super slow and freaked out because they don't know how to use it.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the snow. Those are the guys that really, because then you're like, you think they're just going to all of a sudden goose it, and they're gone. They're going sideways.
Actually, it just hit me. Worst person is asshole that can't clean his fucking car off.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
and has about
Yeah.
a 6x6 square of his windshield
Yeah.
that he can see from. And
Yeah, basically he's like Mad Max.
he's just going.
He's
so
just he's just got the little visor, like the big opening, like I can see where I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Or then he has the sheet of ice flip off his car
Yeah.
on you on the freeway.
Oh yeah.
It's the size of the entire car. It's
Yeah.
just all one piece.
It's like fucking getting hit with
yeah.
a missile. And,
That happened on 13 Mile a couple weeks ago. The lady didn't clear off her car. Or actually, it was like, when did we have that snow? November?
November was the last time it really snowed.
She didn't clear off her car at all, and her car was covered in not just snow, but also fogged up and ice and stuff, and she couldn't see anything. She cleared just enough so she could start driving, but obviously it wasn't enough because she drove head on into a police cruiser.
Oh.
yeah.
And, yeah, she got ticketed.
That's a good one, Phil. The Mustangs and Camaro guys in the blizzard, they're the best.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
God.
yeah. when I worked at the last shop I worked at, like all the young guys, all the young black guys, they all had like the Chargers, or they had like Camaros, and they had cars that were just not practical. They were all rear wheel drive, and I'm like, what? I go, you need to buy a winter car, and they're like,
you
no,
live-
man, I'll be fine. They got
live
low
in a northern
profile.
state, man.
They got like low profile tires.
Yeah.
Like there's barely a tire on the rim,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you guys are, and all of a sudden they be, man, I couldn't get to work yesterday. I'm like, yeah, because your car's got like 20s on it, but you got no tread.
Well,
I mean, where are you going?
How do those vehicles, was like a Scion or the Cube or whatever? Those things normally are, the body is only about 5 or 6 inches off the ground. Like,
Yeah.
what do those things do in this weather?
Don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, yeah, the guys would come in, they'd have their shit all lower with their low profile tires, and they try coming up the encroachment. Like they just plow the road, and they'd be like 3 feet, and I'd just come through with the Jeep like right over.
Yeah, I've always had small scale SUVs that have always had 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Like right now, I got that Jeep Compass. That's 4-wheel drive though. That thing just shreds like a little go-kart through all the snow. So
The best car I ever had, it wasn't my car, but the best car I ever drove in the snow was when I was doing deliveries. We had Ford Focus wagons. So, the Ford Focus, but it's a station wagon. Dude, that thing went through everything.
Dude, that's
No problem.
My mom's
that's
CRV
the,
is
that's-
badass.
That's the
Oh, yeah,
uncle.
she's got a CRV.
The Focus wagon. I mean, that's basically what took over for the Escort wagon. That's the Uncle Dave.
The Uncle Dave,
The
yeah.
Uncle Dave, dude.
is that Mark Ruffalo with a wig on?
Dude, I don't know. It might
who
be.
that is.
That's King Crimson with some dude. And,
That's Mark Ruffalo.
I like my mom's CRV because it's small and it goes through the snow easily. Now I've been in people's they got a Dodge Ram or they got a nice Silverado that's 4-wheel, and it does go through the snow easy.
Yeah.
but it's still big and bulky. Like going to the store and the CRV
Oh, yeah.
is perfect. It fits everywhere. It can
Yep.
go through anything. I just like
yeah,
that.
like when the parking lots aren't like totally clear and you're trying to turn into a spot between two other people and you got to have 4-wheel drive. Well, first of all, you're already losing turn radius with that, with the 4-wheel drive being on.
Yeah.
So you're trying to all of a sudden you got to back up and turn it a little bit more. No, I mean it's true. Like that's why I love that. I got the Jeep Cherokee. Right through everything. Love it.
I got the Dodge or the Chrysler Town and Country,
What year is that?
2009 or something.
Okay.
sucks. It's a piece of shit.
You want to? Let's go blow it up.
2001.
Oh, I need it still,
One of the last years they made the Cherokee and the greatest.
The original, the square body
Greatest.
style
Yeah.
Jeep Cherokee.
The greatest.
Do you have-
Straight six.
Is yours wood panel, the fake wood paneling color?
Mine?
Yeah.
His Jeep?
No,
Or my?
Your van?
Oh no.
Oh God, I wish I had.
No, that's what I'm talking about. His Jeep is the square kind. Mine's the black one
Yeah.
out there.
I like how everybody like in the 90s, like my mom had it, my grandparents had it, was that like Caravan that was like the maroon color but had like the wood cabinet side.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, I wish I had like the fucking like the 80s. Like, what about Bob, the Wagoneer, the Jeep Wagoneer? Yeah, I wish.
Oh, I didn't post that.
But it was still AMC.
Someone posted a picture of that. Said you might be cool, but you never be Ric Flair driving a Jeep Wagoneer with Roddy Piper riding shotgun. Cool. And it was like them just driving in this Jeep Wagoneer down the street.
That's
Speaking of what about Bob, was it with you guys the last time I was here where we talked about the 3 stages of Richard Dreyfuss?
yes.
I talked about that with
Jaws,
someone else at the
Close
same
Encounter.
thing. Yeah, and now older Richard Dreyfuss.
Older Dreyfuss.
It's like, and
What about Bob?
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yep, Mr. Holland's open. Yeah.
But then I had the same conversation with somebody else, and they actually, before I had a chance to say that we talked about that, they were like, "Yeah, like Richard Dreyfuss has been around for 50 years an actor, but it's like 3 or 4 different guys."
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck.
He was listening into our conversation too, like Facebook does.
It was serious. Like, I knew, like, as a kid, I knew the name Richard Dreyfuss. I knew Jaws. And then when I saw him, like, I'm like, that ain't, like in the 80s, I'm like, that's not Richard Dreyfuss. And then I hear him talk, I go, oh my God, that is him.
But the funny part is,
And then-
all he's doing is aging like everybody else we know.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
getting a little
But-
grayer, a little paunchier.
Yep.
That's it.
a little thinner. Yeah.
Who was the one on Saturday Night Live? Used to Daryl Hammond could do an impersonation of him. That's
Oh,
spot
yeah.
on. And he just like they were doing like Star Wars auditions,
Yep.
and it's supposed Richard Dreyfuss is Han Solo,
Yeah.
and he did the best.
Because that was when Spacey hosted, because he did Christopher Walken audition
Yep.
for Han Solo.
And then
Yeah.
didn't Hader do something too?
That was a couple years later, but this one was from the '90s or late. This
Okay.
was, I think this was like late '90s when they were doing the special editions that came back
Yeah.
out of Star Wars and stuff. But Spacey. No, maybe it was the 2000s then. Spacey was trying to do.
it was probably like late 90s.
Yeah. But Daryl Hammond did the best Richard Dreyfuss.
Daryl Hammond and I can't think of his name right now. He has the foggy glass eye in Wayne's World 2. He's in Usual Suspects. Fuck.
Oh my God.
I'll have to think of. He's in Grumpy Old Men. Is the one son.
Kevin Pollak.
Kevin Pollak. Those guys do amazing
All right.
impersonations.
He's going to tell you a story about Kevin Pollak right now.
Dude, if you go to YouTube, there's this interview with Kevin Pollak, and he's talking about like how he learned how to do Peter Falk.
Okay.
Because he makes his eye go all over the place.
Yeah.
He had to teach himself how to do that. It
That's
doesn't
funny.
just do it. He's like,
But
yeah,
he's talking about his Christopher Walken impersonation.
yeah, he was doing his Christopher Walken.
He does a bunch of great impressions, apparently.
But that one's a good story.
Well, he was doing Christopher Walken, and it was the same interview where they were talking, because Peter Falk came up to him. He's like, hey, how do you do that with your eye? Because like Peter Falk knew how he did it because his eye was fucked up.
Yeah.
He wanted to know how fucking Kevin Pollak did it. So anyway, he said that with the Walken, he talked to Jay Moore, and Jay Moore said, look, anytime there's a single syllable word, you got to make it 2 syllables. That's how you do Walken. So when you do like no, you go no.
It's true, though.
That's the key to walking.
And he's like, so I started doing it, and my Christopher Walken got way better. But he does a ton. Like, yes, he does a ton of
Kevin
it.
Pollak's awesome. He was in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
Where they do the Wayne Fest.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to cross the T's and dot the lowercase j's because
Yeah.
you didn't want to say I.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Wayne's World 2 is like, and there's the thing, like, everybody wants the sequel to be just as good. They're never going to be.
No.
But just be serviceable. Wayne's World 2 serviceable. Anchorman 2
Serviceable.
totally serviceable. There's so many of them like that where they're never going to be. I never saw
Wayne's
Zoolander
World.
2.
Wayne's World.
I
has
didn't bother
not
with Zoolander too.
Wayne's World has not aged well at all, though.
You don't think so?
No, it's fucking horrible. I tried to watch it, and it was like, I cannot believe I ever thought this was funny.
I wasn't as bad with that. I was more like some of the references were a little dated and stuff.
Well,
but,
even like they would be considered homophobic
Oh,
now,
God.
though. They're like Schvinter boy.
yeah.
they were that part I like because I'm a scumbag. But
Well,
like,
I think it was either me and Alan or me and Craig talked about this one day when we were driving about Teen Wolf from 1985.
Oh,
It was us, wasn't it?
yes.
a cock gets whipped out at the end of that.
Well, not just that, but there was a part where he's trying to, tell Styles about his new affliction, what's going on with him. He's like, and Styles is like, hold on, you're not going to tell me you're a fag, are you? Because if you're a fag, I'm gonna kick your ass. He's like, no, I ain't no fag.
What about Spicoli? Oh no, those guys are fags.
Yeah, but now it's like you can't do that.
No, but you know the South Park where when they're calling the bikers, the Harley guys,
Yeah.
fags, and they're like, "Why are you? Why are you calling them gay people?" No, we don't mean gay fags. They're just fags.
Yeah,
He's like, what do you call someone that he's like, oh, they're bike curious.
Yeah, bike curious.
Who might want to ride a motorcycle.
it's just
that's-
one of those phrases.
Or they had the Rock Band one where like the whole time they're just playing Rock Band to get to the final to see what happens, and all it is you are fags.
I died so I was dying when I saw that.
So
That's your prize. You get called a fag.
So now there's another King Crimson video here of another concert, and why is there 3 drummers out front?
Speaking of fags, King Crimson around.
There's 3 drummers out front. There's like 6 guitarists in the back, and they're like, I mean, what?
This looks
Okay,
like a high school talent show.
Dude, this is
It really
like
does,
totally.
but I love it. Actually, that's the thing I'm liking the most about this video is that it looks so bad. Like
Oh, and
high school
I
production.
know, and like this time, all right, they're not wearing Miami Vice suits. They're all wearing black vests, white shirts.
They look like Mannheim Steamroller. or whatever.
Exactly. And there's like 3 drummers.
Like
That drummer out front, that looks like the drummer from the Rolling Stones.
Oh, is it? Maybe.
You know,
I mean, it just looks like me. I don't know
what's
if it is
funny
him.
about Mike saying Wayne's
What's his
World
name?
not aging well?
Charlie Watt.
Is
Charlie Watt, thank you.
We were just talking about this with me and my buddies. Disregarding the fact his mom
Comedy
was
in general doesn't age well.
well,
though, by
disregarding
the
the fact his mom was a major player in Hollywood like comedy scene. Pauly
Pauly
Shore
Shore.
got some mileage off that character.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Like off that shtick.
The Weasel.
He had like a good decade of. He had 4 major movies. He had MTV stint that lasted 5 or 6 years.
So
yeah.
And then countless appearances.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know,
Mitzi
And
Shore,
you know,
man. His mom, like,
that's my issue though. Is with him is he talks about how hard he had to work to be a stand-up comedian
No,
and
he
get
didn't.
these gigs. Like,
No, he
fuck
didn't.
you, dude.
No, he
You didn't
didn't.
have to do shit.
no.
Yeah, your mom ran the fucking comedy store.
Dude, all he
Just-
did was
that's the
he
thing.
hung out with comedians all the time.
But
and then,
disregarding his mom and the influence she had
Yeah.
in Hollywood,
Yeah.
that shtick should have lasted 9 months at best.
Yeah, it wouldn't have got him out of Hollywood. He was in the mainstream in this country, not just California.
I think
Yeah.
Biodome was beginning of the end because I liked him in Encino Man and I liked Son-in-Law, and then Biodome was good,
He
and
did-
then he make In the Army
One
Now.
Was he still doing that shtick in that movie too? In
No,
the
you're
Army?
right. Yeah,
One of-
wasn't there a jury one too? Like
one of the worst Joe Rogan moments. I know that people shit on Joe Rogan because everybody's always punching up. He's the top guy, but
Yeah.
I have to shit on him a little bit. He had Pauly Shore on there, and Pauly Shore was explaining to him, "I'm depressed, because I used to be like a really big thing, and now I'm nothing." He goes, and Joe Rogan kept saying, "Well, why does that bother you?" He's like, "Because I used to be a really big star, and now I'm nothing really." He's
Were
like,
you really that
he's
big
like,
of a star?
But he goes, "Well, why would that bother you?" I'm thinking, Joe, you don't know why that would bother him. Imagine if you didn't have the UFC, you didn't have
Right.
Yeah.
it was all taken from you.
Yeah.
I would assume you would be bummed out by that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Rogan is a hard worker.
Yeah.
Like where he can't get into his mindset. Like, well, just go do something fucking else, man. Pauly Shore has no talent.
Right.
Yeah, go do some deadlifts and mushrooms. Fucking expand your mind.
Yeah, go sit in a float tank.
Well, Pauly Shore.
I mean-
Pauly Shore. He's not anywhere the hard worker that Rogan is, and he's not talented per se. But like you said, that shtick was over, and then it
Yeah,
just died.
that's true.
Like it
Yeah.
died a horrible death.
But it existed and it lived because it was the 90s. That is, he just encompassed the 90s, all aspects of it.
It just dawned on me there was another thing he was, he did that role, but it was in a cameo appearance in the Kid and Play classic Class Act. He was the weasel in that. I
don't
for
know.
He was, yeah.
5 minutes. You've never seen Class Act?
I don't think so.
Duncan Pinderhughes,
I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
where they switch
Blade Brown.
Blade Brown, but it's like oh, he's Blade Brown and he's Duncan Pinderhughes, but something happens and their files get confused.
That's one thing about you guys that's always made me laugh as long as I've known you. You will say you haven't seen that as if it's fucking like something like Superman or Terminator or something like something
That's a
common. And then I'm starting questioning myself like, no, I'm not the fucking weird one. Like no one's
Class
seen this
Act.
shit.
It was a hit movie with Kid and Play.
Yeah.
They had a string of hit movies.
You haven't
now as
seen
well.
this obscure Skinamax porn that I watched in 1992?
You haven't
Come
seen
on, it's
Sonny
on.
Boy starring David Carradine and Bluto from Popeye?
What are we watching?
That was a good movie, though, Sonny Boy.
Yeah, I do hate when people do that, especially when you talk about music. They're like, hey, have you checked out? Like, when I tell them I was in a band and I was into metal and I did an online station and then I did a FM station, then they start going into like really obscure shit and like, you don't know about them? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Then you listen to it and it's almost always terrible. It's like, no, I don't know about this shitty band that you like.
And you think about it, especially now, people are like, you haven't seen that movie? There's literally 5,000 movies released every fucking year. They're like, you haven't seen this movie? No, I haven't seen the entire catalog of all films released ever.
Do some people just get into their own bubble and stuff becomes so common to them that
Yeah.
that's what has to happen, right?
That's what it is with me. I just assume people have seen the same crappy movies as me.
Bass solo.
You haven't seen
Here
Death
he
Warrant?
is.
Yeah.
Is
Death Warrant was kind of mainstream, though.
Oh, dude, that was a huge movie for Van
Yeah.
Damme.
Is this still King Crimson?
$6 million
I don't
movie and
think
made 50.
so. I think it's like some other band, but this dude's doing like he's just like jamming his bass solo, man. He's like eating up that spotlight.
No, man,
He
I think
walked
it's still King Crimson.
He walked from the back of that stage to the front when he knew it was time. I don't think it is. I think it's like
Oh, you might be right.
You know what? A thing I would like
Yeah.
to tell a progressive musician, I'd like to walk up to them and say, if I was as good as you at any instrument, I would vow to make good music because you're not doing it.
That dude's wearing a cape. That dude's like wearing like a wizard cloak cape thing.
Yeah, another band that's like that is like another talented band is Dragon
Is this the movie
Force.
Blues or yes?
Yeah, and they just Dragon Force is super fast.
And they're just terrible.
oh yeah, that dude, the dude with the cape. He's the keyboard player.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's got like 70 keyboards
Yeah, I like
surrounding him.
I like
Look at this.
Dragon Force because of the cheese factor, not
Yeah.
because I actually liked it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't sit down and jam Dragon Force alone, but I thought it was funny enough or entertaining enough that I got a kick out of it for about a year.
They never made good songs. Like the band The Darkness, they actually wrote good
I
songs.
love the
Yeah.
darkness.
The Darkness songs are good. What was that? Get Your Hands Off My Woman, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That song's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty.
That first album of the darkness was
Oh yeah,
Permission to
Actually-
Land.
Permission to Land was fantastic.
You're really growing on me. It's all about crabs.
yeah.
I liked.
That whole album, and then
Or
they
herpes or
I don't know what happened with the second album.
I
but-
thought 3 Inches of Blood was a better 80s throwback type of goofy band. They had a song called Deadly Sinners, and their songs were basically, the guy sounded like, they were like a heavier Judas Priest or something. And they were being kind of ironic in a way, but it was actually really entertaining. I liked them more than Dragon Force.
or like Steel Panther.
Steel Panther's too ham for me. It's too hammy.
It got out of hand. I think I liked it when it first started.
I liked
liked it before everybody. No, I
Are
didn't
those
like it
guys
before
in
everybody else.
other real bands, or is that their
the
main
drummer,
thing?
I believe, drummed for Slaughter.
Well, so not,
Oh,
not a
yeah.
real band.
so not a real.
Did that guy stab Steven Tyler with his guitar, and that's how he got the...
Yeah,
The Scars.
He stole
on
the
it.
scarf and put it on there. Yeah.
And he's standing on a riser.
There's
Oh,
a dream.
hey.
Is that a dream catcher?
The singer's finally singing because he's been standing in front of it with the tambourine for like 16-minute intro to the song.
Who is this?
Mike, can you pause this so we can see who this is?
I don't know.
It sucks. I mean, I don't
Pause the video. Pause.
It's Anderson, Rayburn, and Wakeman. You know what? I
Is this a law firm singing?
this
Yeah.
is
Why is
this
a druid playing the keyboard?
This
This
I'm
is
talking about.
members. This is members of Yes.
It is okay.
There's Trevor Rabin. There's John Anderson, the singer, and then the rest of them are some other douchebags. Yep.
Okay, so it's not King Crimson anymore.
No, with the killer bass solo though.
Is
That's
it-
what it says. Killer bass solo live 2018.
Again, that is a concert hall filled with people pretending to like this.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh yeah, this is so good. I get the nuance and all the.
He also has his
chord
his
progression.
carpal tunnel glove on. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And he's just the singer.
And yeah, yeah, right.
Then anytime-
and that's the thing too. Like he's That's John Anderson, the lead singer of Yes.
He
has never been anything but a tambourine player or a singer. He is not.
Is that Michael McKean with the wig on?
I didn't know he was fat. That's the best part about that.
So it looks like Michael McKean's wearing his Spinal Tap wig and wearing a cape too.
A wizard cape.
And
A wizard cape.
And the wizard cape is is hiding the guy, how fat the guy is.
He was fat too. Wow.
It looked like a skinny person from the back.
Yeah.
It's like his version of the Moo Moo. It's like I got to cover my fat somehow.
And I mean, he's got 70 keyboards. Why?
This is actually Yes. What they do is, there's two different incarnations of Yes. This is Yes featuring Anderson, Rabin, and Wakeman. That's their version.
So it's kind of like
okay.
it's like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and then Young joins
Yeah.
them every now and then.
Yeah.
Right.
Still.
Or it's like
I don't know who the bass player is there because Chris Squire died in 2015
what's
or
the
something like that.
80s metal band we were talking about a couple weeks ago? Where it's what band was Tie Me Down in?
Oh, Faster Pussycat.
So it's Tie Me Down's Faster Pussycat. That's actually what he calls it now.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah,
Yeah, he can't call it Faster Pussycat. He has to
Just
call
like
his version
just like
of Faster Pussycat.
Jeff Tate's Queensryche.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bret Michaels' Poison.
Oh, really? Is that the way that is now?
Well, it was.
Oh.
Now
CC
they're all
think
back
C-
together.
I think CC's with him. So
Now they're all
it doesn't
back together. Yeah.
Speaking of Poison, I stopped at the gas station the other day on my way back from a job interview, and stopped to get gas. I went in to get a coffee because I hadn't had any coffee yet. And I go in and making my coffee, and it's brewing because he just started making the coffee. So I'm talking to the guy a little bit, and Bryan Adams Can't Stop This Thing We Started's on. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still talking with this guy, and all of a sudden, the Robin Hood song comes on. So everything I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like another Bryan Adams song. This is weird. And then,
Please tell me the Three Musketeers song
no,
with him staying.
no, I wish, I wish. And then all of a sudden, yet another Bryan Adams song came on.
No.
I'm like, and I said to the guy, I'm like, what radio station is this? Because it's a lot of Bryan Adams. He's like, no, it's a CD. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like,
Yeah, I got the
It's-
greatest hits.
well,
man.
no, and I thought it was the greatest hits. And I'm like, I've never heard this song before. The third song I'd never heard before. And I'm like, oh, you listen to
you.
I'm like, you listen to the CD? And he's like, yeah, I listen to it all the time, especially when I'm here by myself. I'm like, and this guy looks like if you saw this guy, he was a Chaldean fellow, but he looked like just a nerdy white dude that sits at his house and plays video games on his PC all the time. His hair was kind of long, but his hair was backwards, but he had like nerd glasses
You're already
on.
ruining this story. I was hoping it was just some Pakistani.
And he had a
who just loved
goatee.
Bryan Adams.
But he's like, imagine just the fat nerdy dude that sits there and plays video games, but also very obviously he's the Chaldean version of that.
Nice.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah, just listen to it. I'm thinking, and this guy's not old. This guy's like maybe 30, maybe. And he just runs a gas station. And he's like, I listen to this all the time. I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
So if you guys go in there, be ready for Bryan Adams Waking Up the Neighbors.
When you
From 1991.
when you first started talking about it, I thought you were going to say it was a white dude named Frank, because I know this guy named Frank that builds guitars, and like he knows how to play every single Bryan Adams song.
It wasn't even the greatest hits though. This is just
Oh no, this guy was
an album with like 2 hits off of it.
It's Bryan Adams. It's strange. Like it's good background music and good, whatever music for he's done scores for movies and shit.
Yep.
But like it still weirds me out when I find an actual Bryan Adams fan. Like, and I'm not
Right.
just shitting on it. It's just like it's not something that a bunch of people are like way into, and then you run into one like, oh, you like
Dude, I went
you
to-
like Bryan
yeah.
Adams that much, huh?
I went to school with this guy Frank, and I hadn't seen him in years. And
I
then
met
I
a
ran
couple.
into him at a bar, and then he's like, "Yeah, I build these guitars and stuff." And me and I think I was with I was married still, and we went to his house, and he was showing me all the guitars and stuff he made, and then he was like he was jamming some of them, and he kept playing Bryan Adams songs. I'm like, he goes, "Oh man, I know how to play every Bryan Adams song. He's the greatest." And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I looked over at Angel and I'm like, we're leaving right now. I'm like, we're out of here.
We've already apologized to Bryan Adams multiple times.
We've already apologized for Bryan Adams countless times.
I can't be around people like this.
I just went. I go, well, I got to get up in the morning and go to work. I work nights, but I got to get up and go to work in the morning. So we got to go.
I'm against segregation by race, but by Adams, I'm okay with it.
You know what's weird though is if you look back on his music, his greatest hits album came out in 1993.
Yeah,
and it had like 9 top 10 hits on it.
Dude, well, from like 81 to like 90, 91. I mean, he had dude, he was all over the charts. All over the charts.
Didn't he do a song with somebody
Thanks
else?
for sending me to my grave with AIDS.
So it wasn't a Bryan Adams song, but it wasn't like Last Tiger? Wasn't he? Didn't he do something?
Oh yeah. Well, they're a Canadian band too.
Yeah. But it's just like, I guess I forget that he actually had hit songs, but the only ones you ever hear are like Summer '69 and the Robin Hood song.
I do this thing with Janine, right?
Cuts
if I'm
like
just
a
bored,
knife.
Cuts like a knife,
I
too.
try to fucking like pull one on her, just like a simple one. I tried to convince her one day that the song "Summer of '69" is actually about the year 1983, where he just 69 everybody the whole summer.
That would be a much better song.
And then I also told her that the song "Legs" from ZZ, and I do this like straight face until she starts going, "No way, really?" And then I start laughing, but I'm like, the song "Legs" from ZZ Top is about one of the girls that one of the guys used to fuck. It was a paraplegic, and then she started to walk again.
That's awesome.
If you told her that Pearl Necklace was about coming on a woman's throat, it would actually be true.
Yeah.
So tell her the actual truth, and then
But you got to think of a lie for it, though. You can't tell her the.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing about like girls; they can be smarter than you, but because they're like, I don't know if there's their maternal instincts, they don't want to believe you're lying. So you can you can tell them anything, and they could be a calculus. They could be way smarter than you. Be like, yeah, did you know that you just make some fucked up thing up, and they're like, God, that's true. If you just keep going, they'll actually start believing it.
My ex-wife was a space case, okay, but very, very, very intelligent. And still to this day, I love to tell the story of how we were driving down Marine City Highway, and there was a raccoon dead on the side of the road on its back, and all his paws were straight up, like stiff. And I saw his face, and I go, "Oh, look at the raccoon sleeping on the side of the road." And she goes, "Oh, where?" In the middle of the day.
It's funny though, because you do these like small.
I lost it. I almost pissed my pants. I was laughing so hard.
Like you do these small little lies that you don't think about the future of. So like I used to date a girl back in the day, and we'd go to the hockey games all the time. And like when they drop the puck, the music, Green Day or whatever they're playing, stops playing throughout the arena. And I just was like bored, and I'm like, there's a sensor in the puck, and when they drop it, it fucking cuts off the music in the arena. And then I just said it. I was fucking one of those stupid, fucking froggy moods one day, and then like months down the road, she's like, I think the sensor's broken, and I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, boy.
And it turns out like the puck dropped, and the music was still playing in the arena, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, the puck. They dropped the puck, and the music. You still hear the music? I'm like, yeah, I still hear the music. They probably didn't cut it off in the fucking sound room yet.
Totally forgot.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I
forgot that was your lie.
you do that, and then also nobody like, yeah, you told me that one time. And you're like, oh, I just lied about that.
Yeah.
That was a straight up lie.
It's not meant to be some long con. It's just like a one-off bored. Hey, I'm fucking with you thing.
And then it stays somehow.
I told Mike a story about a squirrel or something that jumped on a bird's back and bit its neck.
Yeah, a carnivorous squirrel.
A carnivorous squirrel in the neighborhood.
And then you just kept going on and on and on about it, and I didn't believe it. I truly did not believe it for like a month. You finally got me to break and believe it because you were like, I'm telling you, I saw it, and then I believed it.
And then I was like, oh, that was a lie.
Yeah, as soon as I finally like started. I don't know. I told somebody like, yeah, Brian saw a fucking squirrel kill a bird, man.
Dude,
I didn't believe it was actually carnivorous, but I thought, well, I could see one getting aggressive and attacking a bird.
There's like
maybe it happened.
There's like two
and then
or three
you're like,
different
no, it didn't. As soon as it
totally didn't
I
happen.
got you, dude. That's like totally like
Craig
Cartman, dude.
Yeah, I'd say there's 2 or 3 different episodes of South Park
where
where Cartman
Mitch Connor, dude, when he
Finally-
does fucking
finally
J-Lo
convinces
with
them.
his hand, and he finally gets him to believe it.
and then it's like,
I got you, kinda.
It's like when you try to like let somebody in the car and then you keep pulling up a little bit and then they can't grab the handle.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, now this time, and just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Craig would do that with Tom all the time.
The
koala cubs.
Dude, the koala cubs is like
He told him the story, and he
That
insisted that we grew up
story
in
is-
Australia.
Oh my god!
And we weren't in the Boy
Greatest.
Scouts; we were in the koala cubs
You want to hear a really?
because my parents were in the Peace Corps.
You guys want to hear a really mean one?
And even my mom went along with it. My mom lied for him.
Your mom went into it.
My mom,
Dude, you
my
didn't
mom.
know this story. This
Wait,
is the
forget my.
greatest.
I didn't know your mom
So-
got in on it.
So
Yeah.
he says something to me about it. I'm like, oh yeah, when we lived in Australia, our parents were in the Peace Corps. And he's like, all right. He still didn't kind of believe it. And then he said something to my mom. My mom was standing there talking with us, and my mom's like, yeah, that's true, and basically just went along with it. So Tom believed it for like 3 years. And then finally,
koala
we're like,
cubs,
and then
dude.
I think it was we had a party or something. Someone that we hadn't seen in a while came around, and we're talking about it. And we're like, oh, dude, yeah, we lied about that. Just after like 3 years. But the fact that my mom vouched for us,
That's
just
awesome.
straight up just lied for
'Cause
us.
that makes it so believable. Whose mom would lie?
That kind of cheeky stuff is fun though. Like it's like every prank now has to be so evil and sinister.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like like the wholesome stuff like that's fun.
I
had-
put
I had-
Carolina Reaper
I had-
juice in your eyeball.
I had a cruel one that me and my older sister did to my younger sister, Kate.
Do tell.
We for years we told her, she was like, I don't know, 7 or 8. And we were like, Kate, we wanted you to know that you've been adopted and you're actually black. And she's like, what? I go, you're black. It's no big. We love you the same, but you are black. We give you pills to keep you white. And
Like Soul Man
and
pills?
we told her one night, we've run out of pills, so when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be black. And she cried and didn't sleep a wink. And then we tried to convince her tell her that it was like, and we told, this is the worst part, we told her parents were Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima. We said that's her parents. And she said that we adopted them. And so anyway, she didn't sleep a wink. And then we couldn't convince her that she wasn't black. We're like, it's just a joke, because she wasn't sleeping and was having trauma from the lie. And we couldn't convince her that she was white again.
Said she
my
was
God.
14 at the time. You said
8.
This is
7
just
or
a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's just a couple.
She was like 36 at the time.
This is about May of 2005 or
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, like lighthearted pranks. Did you hear about like that fantasy football league where the dude who had the last place in his league, the punishment was he was sentenced to 24 hours at the local Waffle House, and for every waffle he ate, he got to shave an hour off the sentence. He was out of there in 17 hours. He said, I guess throughout the day, all the other guys in the league were like visiting him and just like popping in on him, and like he just had a booth to himself for 24 hours, sentenced there. He had other friends coming up and hanging out with him and stuff. But like that's fun. Like it's like just pranks that are fun that aren't like like you said, like rubbing hot peppers in your eyes, or here's a diaper as shit, like something just horrible.
Or the guy who lost a bet and had with his friends and had to get a tattoo. I can't remember what the fuck the tattoo was now. I'm going to ruin this whole story. Never mind.
There's this big
Move on
trend
to
of
something else.
There's this big trend of like YouTube couples that live together and do horrific shit to one another as they sleep.
Isn't that all fake though?
It has to. It has to
fake.
be.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Roman Atwood, and I'm going to shit in my wife's mouth as she's. It's always just way over the top. Like you'd get divorced if it wasn't pre-scripted.
I actually had no cable this morning because I have shit ass DirecTV and my dish had snow all over it.
Yep.
So I just like, I just need something on the TV to have some sound on. I decided to start rewatching The League from season 1. And keep in mind, episode 1, season 1 is from 2009.
Yeah, it's old.
The joke in that is that Pete has the first pick in the draft. And here's how bad this is. And he's like, if he doesn't get here soon, we're going to pick for him. And he's either going to get a kicker or the Detroit Lions defense.
Yeah.
My, how things have changed over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the fucking joke about the Lions then.
Oh,
Still
gosh.
relevant.
What goes around comes around.
That show was so good for like 5 seasons, and then the last 2 were just junk.
The
never
one
watched
year that I did fantasy football, I did when I was out in Utah. The guys kept bugging me, man, just come on, let's do this. I'm like, all right, no problem. And that year the Lions defense was awesome. We had Sue. We were awesome that year. Calvin Johnson had like 2,000 yards that year. I had Calvin Johnson. Stafford had like 5,000 yards. I had Stafford. I won with Lions. I beat everybody.
I did the same thing. I don't think it was that year, but at work we had a league, and it was like 12 people, and I ended up like running the table. I was like in the regular season, I was like 12-2, and then we did the playoffs like the last 3 weeks, or maybe I was like 12. I was like 11-2, and I won the whole thing. And the next year, all of a sudden, they did a draft and everything, and they didn't tell me. They didn't even let me get into
It's
it.
exactly what happened to me. The next year, they didn't ask me to be in
They're
it.
like, "Oh, we just did it with these people instead." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
It was like
I remember going
the
to
Vegas
my
equivalent of you're playing too well. Can you please leave the
It was,
casino?
it was my buddy Tony who was doing it. He was the one that was running it. He was in another league, and he goes, "I want to start my own." And he sets it all up, and then I beat everybody. I mean, I killed him. I killed everybody, and I wouldn't make any because everybody stayed healthy all year. All my players stayed healthy all year. They're like, "Oh, make me a trade." I go, "Why? I'm not trading. I don't want your fucking guy. You know, my guys are good." And the next year, I go, "Hey, Tony, are you doing that?" "Oh, no, I'm not doing it this year." And then like this dude Brody I worked with was like, "Yeah, Tony's killing it this year in his league." And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" They're like, he goes, Oh, it's a different league. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. He didn't want me in it.
Do you guys want to be in my fantasy NASCAR league? We just pick one driver. That's how you do.
I don't even know who drives for NASCAR. There was a time where I actually knew who the drivers were. I wasn't like into
They
it.
still
but
do that NASCAR thing?
Is Dick Trickle still in there?
No.
Yeah. Ted Musgrave. That was
Oh
one
my
I
gosh,
remember.
yeah.
Parnelli Jones.
Yeah.
No, that's I
Cal
remember.
Naughton. No.
Who's the big one now? The Kyle Busch?
Kyle Busch is big.
Yeah.
I think Logano.
Did you see
Joey
that-
Logano's still there.
You see that clip when Kyle Busch, I think, won a race, and that cuts to his wife, and she's in the crowd, and his son is like really young, I guess, and just starts fucking grabbing and sucking on his fucking mom's tits.
No, I didn't.
Camera.
That's awesome, though.
Like over the clothes, though.
Hey, there you go. Was he like 14?
Is Kelly Yarborough still racing?
Yeah.
She's still
Kelly
running?
Yarborough. Yeah.
No, I was like,
Let me out of the
I was
car.
I was
No,
15.
the King, Richard Petty's still
I was like
around.
15 or 16. It was me and Jay and this dude.
Not
Pat,
you, Jay.
This dude Pat that we used to hang out with once in a while. Jay hung out with once in a while, and we were driving, and Pat was driving. He was flying, man. We got pulled over by a state trooper. And he walks up and he goes, "Who the hell do you think you are, Parnelli Jones?" And we like looked at him. We're like, "Who?"
Who the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is.
And we looked at him. He goes, "He's a race car driver." And we're like, he's
I've never heard of him.
and he just let you go out of embarrassment because you didn't know who he was talking about.
He didn't write him a ticket. He came back with his license. He goes, "Get out of here and don't speed again," and let us go. We're like,
and look at Parnelli Jones when you get
"Oh
home."
man!" After that, we were just like, for weeks. It was like, that's every time anything. We were like, "Who do you think you are, Parnelli Jones?" He's a pizza maker now. We made him into everything.
Cole Trickle is the best race car driver.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Rowdy Burns was second.
Michael Rooker looks like shit now
Yeah.
compared to Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have all that Scientology money to fix himself up and like the rejuvenation tanks and stuff.
He just said pizza when I was talking to Mike earlier in Messenger. Did you guys ever see that Evil Genius documentary on Netflix about that case where the pizza man had the bomb hooked up to him at the bank?
The one that they made 30 seconds or less, or 30 minutes or less?
Yeah, but the actual story.
No, I didn't see the...
So I always knew about the story, and I thought that was just it. And there's like a 4-part documentary on Netflix. I knew 10% of
Really?
the entire story. It's fucking amazing.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's called
yeah.
It's called Evil Genius. Each part's 40 to 50 minutes long. And
All 4 parts are about that whole thing?
Like these Arctic winds of death whipping outside here.
And we knocked it out like 2 days ago. It's wild. It's more wild than you could ever imagine. Like a pizza man with a bomb sent into a bank to rob a bank is wild enough on its own. After the whole story unravels, you don't even care about that part anymore at all.
You know what? I kind of forgot about that movie, though, 30 minutes or less.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, and I kind of forgot about it. Wow.
I know, and like
Is Aziz in that?
yeah, Aziz. It's a great cast. Aziz,
Eisenberg.
Swartzen, McBride.
That's Jesse Eisenberg, too.
Yeah, Eisenberg has the bomb strapped to him
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
when they do that junkyard, and he's like, "Somebody help me! Help!" And McBride's the one put on. He's like, "Somebody help him!" Because there's no one around.
Love McBride.
Just to let him know that he's.
We always
fucking
bring up
fucked.
McBride when you're here, too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
If like everyone has that, what's the thing called? It's like if you could have dinner with like 3 people, like or table of 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like anybody in the world, dead or alive, would it be? McBride's got a seat there.
He's got a seat.
Yeah. That dude fucking, like, we all have our, like, comedians or actors that hit our sweet spots. That dude could just fucking read the phone book, and I would just be bawling my eyes out laughing.
Like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the UFC card for the McGregor and Cerrone. It is a shitty card other than that fight.
Yep, that's why
That is the shittiest.
I know why nobody wanted to buy it.
They put Cowboy and Conor have big names, and they're fucking selling it off just them.
And then Holman Pennington is the co-main event.
Listen
right?
here, Uncle Dana. This is why fucking boxing almost went bankrupt
It's
forever.
a shit card. It really is.
Because they'll do that with a boxing card. It'll be just Fury versus Wilder, and then everything else will suck on the whole card. Yep. Don't do that shit. Stack the cards, Dana. If you want people to pay.
They're not fighting yet, though, right?
It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
I was almost not going to come here tonight because I had plans, like loose plans of people to go watch that fight. But then everybody convinced me that the fight's going to be over in about a minute. So then everybody lost interest.
It's a bad card all around. But yeah, that fight's probably not going to be very long.
In my opinion, if Conor loses to Cowboy, he needs to stop.
Yep.
Because Cowboy has still got some skill left, but his chin's gone, and it should be just a touch him and leave thing. But if he somehow loses, Conor's got to quit.
I'm more fascinated by Conor McGregor, the person, than the fighter, because he really seems like he has all the makings of like the guy that's gonna have a rap album come out soon. Like more legal problems.
Oh yeah.
He's going to have legal problems forever. He's that type of person.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He attacks people and
he's an asshole.
But like he's still like, it's weird. I don't know how to explain this, but like he's technically, his career or his job where he makes his money is a fighter, but his persona that doesn't include fighting is what makes the money. Like,
no, that's true.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys like.
So it's like how it kills your drive to be good at what made you money if what's making you money now is just going to clubs and making appearances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain it, but...
Well, after the Mayweather boxing match, which he should have never been allowed to do, but people wanted to see it.
I think he won that.
Yeah. His drive to do MMA went down, and then he went and fought right after being the best mixed martial artist in the world right now. Maybe John Jones is better, but it's between Khabib and John Jones. And he went right into that, a guy that's been doing it and active, got his ass kicked, looked tired and not himself. And it was like, dude, if you're going to cage fight for a living, you better focus on it exclusively or just
But that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, how much...
I'm agreeing with you in a long-winded, stupid way.
No, but like, how much does his name... Like, how long can you be considered a fighter without fighting? But that's... Like, he still does... Even if he loses and he gets knocked out immediately tonight or whatever, no matter what happens, in that time before...
He still has a name,
before his next fight, just doing the appearances, just being on TV and being braggadocious and being the Conor McGregor character, that builds the next fight right back up.
Yeah.
Well, I understand why the guys have to do that, because an example of someone that did it was Colby Covington. He's actually a really nice guy that's pretending to be a loudmouth like Trump supporter that calls everybody virgins and losers and stuff.
Yeah.
He was going to get cut. Dana was going to cut him because he wasn't getting any fan, even though he was winning. They're like, this guy's boring. He's just a wrestler. He turns into this character that insults people and is over the top and torments people mentally and everything. It was a total character, and it worked for him. And now he's making money.
So you would agree you're better off working on promos than you are going to the gym?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
That's the way it's become, yeah.
Because if Conor... Like I said,
his best friend is Masvidal, the guy that's acting like he's a street gangster from Miami, which he kind of... he's a guy from Miami, but he's actually a really nice guy. And now he's playing this guy that's all hard and hates everybody. Like, they have to do these characters to make money.
And
they have to.
And that's what sucks, because like UFC had you had a ceiling doing what they were doing before. But you can't just be happy being a niche thing. It's like you have to keep... If it doesn't make more money, it's a failure. It needs to be making more money, and then you compromise the integrity of fucking everything.
Well, they're doing pro wrestling.
It's basically,
promos.
Yeah.
And really, I think Chael was probably the first one to really start doing it.
He was the first guy.
Yeah.
And he talked himself in, because Chael, as much as I love Chael, he had always been like not an average, but a good fighter that couldn't beat the top guys. That was his career forever.
And insanely good ground game, but he wasn't known for the all around.
I guess you could argue Tito too, because he used to do like the shirts and then dig the grave and bury like that.
Yeah, that's
whole
true.
shit.
I always forget Tito was probably the first
Yeah.
guy to do the promos and dickhead stuff.
I think he just is a dick.
But I think that was and like John Jones. John Jones isn't a character. He really is mean.
But the Tito stuff, wasn't him consciously
really a dick.
being a character. Tito was just being Tito.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's all contrived. Like it's all
he's done it so long that he actually believes some of the stupid shit he used to.
yeah.
There's got to
He's become his. It wasn't a character. He's himself.
And that's what we're talking about too. And I'm on another like chat with a bunch of guys, like wrestling guys and stuff like that. And like the AEW, it has a ceiling. Like they're being kind of wrestling purists, and that's a niche market. Yeah. Like you're never gonna hit WWE levels unless you do what WWE did to get to those levels, which includes like, hey, who has a movie coming out this week? Oh, Ryan Reynolds. Let's bring him on the show and let's let him make one of our talents look like a fucking bitch.
Yep.
Like. So AEW, if they're comfortable with being niche, it'll be fucking great for that core fans. But the chasing the casual fan constantly just dilutes fucking everything.
Well, the thing is when they put together a pay-per-view or do anything, they don't care about people like me and Brian that like MMA and watch it anyways. They're doing it for people that, like you said, they're looking for that guy that, at the bar, like, I like that Conor McCracken guy. They don't even know the name. They just know the personality. They want that because 80 or 90% of their pay-per-view buys are probably not hardcore fans. It's probably, like you said, 10%.
But the casuals don't like, and I know this because I am a casual fan of other things. I would say I'm a casual fan of football.
Yeah.
You know what I don't do? Buy fucking anything.
No.
Like, I don't buy jerseys. I don't buy any fucking tickets for games. Nothing. So it's like you can keep trying to market football to me, and yeah, you got me interested to watch enough. But I'm not giving you any of my fucking money. So like, what are we doing?
You're drinking Coors Light right now. They got you.
Well, actually,
No,
Don,
I'm actually drinking a banana stout that's helping the gorillas in Africa.
he just brought it here in a Coors Light box.
Oh yeah, the Coors Light box.
That was his carrier.
How white trash
Wait,
is that?
what is that?
Yeah.
This is the Griffin Claw Growers Grace. It's a banana stout that's helping gorillas.
Oh,
It's fucking good.
okay.
It's really good. I like banana.
I'm drinking some Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, you guys said you stopped drinking because you're lame. What was it again? What was the
Something like
reason?
that. Well, Mike did it because
You almost died on air.
Yeah, I'm trying to put off death.
I'm
for a
a
little
convicted felon alcoholic.
That's a felony now.
While. Well, the funny thing
when
is
you get so many DUIs, it's like, oh, yeah, you're now a
And I'm
habitual offender.
I'm just not drinking because I'm not much of a drinker.
Do you
anyways.
have a smoke alarm on your ankle?
yeah.
Not anymore. I
did
had it
until-
when I got it the day I got out of jail, and until I went to actual jail, big boy jail.
When he got out of city jail and had to
Yeah.
get a-
I don't drink because I'll never be able to eat right. That's why.
I was getting an oil change one time over
Yeah.
here on 12 and Gratiot, and it takes a half hour, whatever. I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk. I went over to Walmart, just took a walk. Saw 3 different people in there with fucking ankle
Oh, yeah.
monitors.
Oh, yeah.
you only saw 3?
Yeah,
There was,
like what are the odds of this?
Yeah, like, what was it like? It was before I had mine. I think it wasn't this past summer because I had it at that time, but it was the summer before. There was
was it the summer of '69?
I kept seeing this chick, and I kept running into her, like at different places, Speedway, all these different places, and she was pretty hot. And I kept seeing her places, and then one day I saw her wearing shorts, and she's got this big old fucking. She didn't just have the like not drinking monitor. She had like the.
It looks like a fucking
the whole GPS. Fucking
It looks like a carbon monoxide detector on your fucking ankle.
I thought you were going to get into like a romantic comedy. There, it's going to be like it was serendipity. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
They kept on running into each other.
It did, well,
Our eyes met.
Jerry or box eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing about that fucking documentary with the pizza man.
Oh yeah.
I was fucking dying laughing, and we were talking about this. Like, why am I thinking this is funny? Like, the dude literally, I don't want to spoil it, but we all know the dude gets, at some point, he gets a bomb put on his neck.
Yeah.
And then he's told to go rob this bank with a note. And then after that, he was supposed to, like, go on a scavenger hunt of clues that the people that put the thing on him to get the keys to get the thing off so he wouldn't explode.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a fucking simpleton, and after the bank robbery, he pretty much gets nabbed by the police. And then they fucking do they do the thing where they make him cross his legs, they cuff him. At this point, he has a shirt that's bubbled out because he has a fucking neck bomb on. They don't know. And when he starts explaining, he's like, I have a bomb on me. And the one cop like tears his shirt open and is like, oh, fuck, it really is a bomb. So then they all perimeter around him with the police cars, and they fucking show all this. And then he's like, can somebody get this off of me? and it's just a bunch of cops with guns pointed at him. He's like, I'm not kidding, please. And then like all of a sudden it starts beep beep, and then he starts getting real serious. He's like, no, seriously, please get this off me. And then it just fucking explodes and kills him.
He died.
Yeah. And I started laughing because the dude's like, please, can somebody please get this off of me? And like, I was just a bunch of. Could you imagine needing help and all you see is just this?
That just goes with what we talked about before. Is like the stuff we laugh at probably isn't funny to most people, but it is to us.
But then the whole documentary is about, was he a willing accomplice and at what level, or was he really kidnapped? Because he was like, black people did this to me. like it was black people. Like that's all he says. Well, and then it goes so deep. Like I can't recommend it enough though.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's fucking great.
What's it called again?
It's called Evil Genius.
Evil Genius. That's right.
And the way they shoot it and they like present you the information, you know you're going into what I just said: pizza man, bomb, bank. So you're like ready to go for that. And it starts off with a document about this woman from 1960, and you're like, what are we doing? Did I turn the right thing on? And then it all starts making sense. Then you're like, oh, and then by the end of it, you don't even fucking care about the pizza man. It's gotten so far off the rails.
Holy
you're
shit.
just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Like
for
our
sure.
show.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I want to see that. I want to see the show about the two guys that robbed the bank that took beta blockers to lower their heart and wore the fucking bulletproof vest. Remember in the 90s?
Oh, yeah,
they
the
shot
shootout.
out. They shot out with the LAPD.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
What's that?
Oh, that was. There's no documentary. He wants to see one. Is there one about it?
It's not a documentary. It's just a movie or I can't remember if it's a movie or a made-for-TV thing. But I saw a trailer for it. They go through the whole thing, like the timeline and
These
everything.
guys wore like straight up like armor.
And they were both about they were both
tactical armor.
They said
and they had a full blown shootout.
They were
gunfight.
They were like real life Terminators. They were like 6'5", huge.
Yep.
Huh.
And they took beta blockers so they'd stay calm as they were shooting people. And they were getting shot by the cops left and right, but not getting hurt because they had so much armor on.
Imagine something you would see in like a straight up just super action movie.
But somehow,
with real life.
Somehow no one died but them.
They're the only ones that died. Yeah.
What about this? What about where we rob a bank with a drone with a note attached to it?
Yeah.
And we have like a little maybe like missile or a gun on the drone, and we threaten the bank tellers and like put the money in the basket, like
Can't throw a drone in jail.
The drive-through White Castle. Like put the money in the basket and then
And if the government's listening, this is a movie that we're going to write.
Yeah, you just ruined
This is not a plan.
This is not a actual plan for robbing.
Let's get real meta with this. We do this to fund the movie about this.
Wow.
There we go.
Whoa. Like the Keanu meme. Whoa. Yeah. What about that robbery with the surfer guys where they dressed up like presidents?
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, the Dead Presidents. I remember that movie.
Utah, get me too.
Oh, was the Dead Presidents just the black version of Point Break?
Point Break is so good.
Yeah, Dead Presidents kind of. Yeah, I mean,
no, they were actually Vietnam vets that were shit on.
Yeah,
the remake of that was so bad,
so bad.
I don't ever
like. I literally.
I don't acknowledge
remember,
it. I don't.
It was so bad that I've kind of blocked it out like a repressed memory type thing.
It was
now. I would never even watch it.
I had to.
I had to watch it too.
I couldn't do it.
I had to.
The best part was it was supposed to be Gerard Butler in the Swayze role, and then I guess he walks around as a fat ass in his real everyday life.
Yeah, he doesn't work out all the time.
And then he gets just jacked for movies, and then just goes back to being a fat ass. He just couldn't. The older he gets, he can't do that
Can't
anymore.
cut it back. Yeah.
So they just threw in the dude
Believe
that was
me,
in
I know what that's
Domino.
about.
Yeah, I
The
can remember his
dude
name.
the dude that looks like a ripped Frusciante.
Yeah,
I can never remember his name, but he's been in a lot of stuff.
but he's got like a Hispanic name or Vincent Perez.
No, it's not that.
No,
But either way, yeah, it's the guy that was in Domino.
could-
Is Mickey Rourke's like
They could get Anthony Kiedis to do it again. Maybe
that
Maybe.
would be a waste of time.
That would be a waste of time.
He gets shot in that foot in that fucking house.
How short is Kiedis? Because he looked way shorter than everybody standing in that fight
maybe
scene.
they're just all really tall.
Well, I know War Child's big, but I don't know how big the other guys were. I like how they're a Nazi surf gang, but the War Child's clearly not white.
Polynesian or some shit.
Yeah. He's like, War Child doesn't look too much like Odin.
You're talking about Edgar Ramirez?
Yes, that's his name. Yeah.
That was close. Vincent Perez, whatever.
So you said like I didn't want to watch it, but I felt like it could be a cool remake.
Okay.
because they were going to go like with all extreme sports, not just surfing. And I guess they touched on skydiving and all that in the first one, but this is going to be like everything, all extreme. I'm like, this could be all right. It was so bad.
I remember.
So
maybe
who did
two
the
things.
Keanu part?
So they did a twist. The Keanu part was played by a blonde guy, and then the Bodhi was a dark-haired guy.
What? Say what?
Whoa.
It was
Child, please.
I remember there was a scene on a boat, like a yacht, and then also there was in the mountains, and the blonde lady was with him.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, it was garbage.
So bad.
And the blonde guy that plays the Johnny Utah character, I was like, what do I know him from? And then Tom's like, oh, he was Cobra Commander in the second G.I. Joe movie. I'm like,
That's
oh,
right.
where he never has the fucking mask.
That's
off.
right. I
Like,
remember reading that.
I can't. Why didn't you recognize him, Jay? What the hell?
So bad.
You didn't recognize him as Cobra Commander, who never has the fucking mask off in the movie.
You
He
knew
wasn't.
this?
He wasn't
Why?
Cobra Commander in the first one. Oh no, that was what's his name?
Yeah, we're gonna.
What were they doing with that movie too?
I don't
The
know.
first GI Joe.
Yeah, like G.I. Joe is
Living in the past.
Well, no, it's tailor made. You have all these characters. It was like the Masters of the Universe of our time. It's like you have all these awesome characters people want to see. Why are we making this more difficult?
Right.
Just do what the cartoon did.
Yep.
In movie form.
No, you got to put your own spin on it.
I gave it so much free, like just like okay, I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna let this go, and then it gets to a point where
G.I. Joe.
I can't let
Yeah.
any more go.
Marlon Wayans flying the fucking jet, and the voice activated jet,
Yes.
and he can't figure out how to fire the missiles, and all of a sudden, what's her name says, Destro is Scottish. Try saying it in Gaelic. And he has to yell the fire command in Gaelic, and it works. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck this movie.
But
I'm
also,
done.
even the fact that, like in G.I. Joe,
Destro is Scottish, so use Gaelic.
Yep.
they were all like unique characters with different looks. And that movie, they just like homogenized everything to that same sleek black
Yeah.
X-Men outfit that was like all the rage at the time.
Snake Eyes is the only cool thing in the movie.
Yeah.
But
That movie sucked.
so bad.
Also, if you want to do G.I. Joe, just fucking paint Vin Diesel fucking silver as Destro, because he already fucking sounds like him.
Yeah.
And we're done. Like,
I really tried, and I just and we were in the theater, and I think I once saw that movie with Tom and Craig.
Channing Tatum as Duke, not bad. Not a bad.
No, it wasn't bad. But
That's
when
not
when
bad.
they're like, try saying it in Gaelic, and he says it, and I'm like, and I actually said out loud in the theater, I said, "Fuck this!"
Done. Done.
Toss
Like,
your popcorn in the
popcorn in the air.
Threw
I'm
my
leaving.
beer. No, I didn't have a beer, but
It's like when I didn't know what Twilight was, and then I saw that
you saw it opening night.
Rob Pattinson sparkled. I'm like, I got to get out of here. Just get me out. I started having a panic attack. Yeah. Like, dude, you got to get me out of here. This ain't right.
So what we were saying though about like creating characters for something that's tailor made and just easy. Like this is easy. You could just hand me this, and we could make the movie.
Yeah.
They're going to do the same thing with fucking Mortal Kombat. Like you have all these characters that people love and want to see.
Yep.
And then I read they're like, oh, we have this. We're going to introduce all kinds of new and creative characters. No, just use the fucking people that we already know.
You know what? And I when they first started making it, I'm like, I had such high hopes reading the stuff they were going to do. I'm like,
the one that's going to be coming out,
the new one coming
Yeah.
out next year.
and it could be amazing.
It could be.
Like if you give somebody like a Peter Jackson the budget and the vision to do like a Mortal Kombat movie, and
Yeah.
just a tournament and some fucking cool ass scenery and all the different people coming in. Don't overthink this.
No.
Like just fucking.
And I'm one of the people I defend the 1995 one.
It's not bad for what it is.
It's not, but there were certain things like fucking Goro's a mess.
What about the second one where they all just turned into CGI dragons when they
Dude, it was so.
Annihilation?
I don't even want
to
to talk about Annihilation. The first one, I still defend it. It wasn't great. It's not definitely not considered great now. Even when it came out, it was popular, but it wasn't great. But for what it was, it's not a bad movie. Stephen Ray Vaughan.
Could you imagine playing Veronica Vaughn and Sonya Blade in the same year?
Yeah,
That's-
in the same year. Yeah,
That's one of the best cinematic runs that anybody's ever had. Play two major characters. No, just kidding. We're watching Albert King with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
How old was Stevie Ray Vaughan when he died? Early 40s?
No, 30 something.
No, yeah, I was going to say because
Okay.
I think he's about
36, I think.
because he's around. He was around my parents' age, a couple
died-
years younger.
he died
was-
in 90.
He died in 90. I think he was born in like 54 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
or-
yeah.
And Clapton was supposed to be on the helicopter
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
right, guys, we're going to take a brief break,
All right.
and then we're going to come
A
right
beef
back.
break to get some beef.
And we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Hot meat break.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to be right back with Radio Underground. All
I
right.
forgot the time when.
Hey, Mike. How are you? I have not talked to you in like 2 minutes. I remember our conversation on Facebook Messenger, and it was very good. You know what? I have turned into a liking, so you know. And I want you to know that I want to drink fountain alcohol with you very soon one day. Okay? You put that in your head right now. Fortnite for life.
Yeah, you know, let's just think about this for a moment. My Saturday night included going to a place where I met, let's be honest, Sunny, who is still smoking hot.
Yeah, she did a porno, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
That's got to be. That's in your hard drive. Admit it.
Oh, yeah, that's in the stank bank. I mean, you know, it's up there. Yeah. And look at his Saturday nights. His Saturday nights probably included a circle jerk with Tom Brady and Master Chief. You know, oh, Tom, please deflate your balls in my mouth while Master Chief quad shots loads of semen in my face. I mean, so
is that what it was? Yeah.
You compare Saturday nights, there's no comparison.
I never turned the mute off.
And we're back.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how hot Jessica Simpson
was.
Dukes of Hazzard.
I haven't seen her.
Will be.
Washed in the car to that song.
She's a babe. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
She gets
She lost a lot of weight again.
Yeah.
She gets a little bit. Everything gets a little big.
Even when Jessica Simpson, I mean, not when she was like the biggest, where she's like didn't like herself at the time, but like she's like everyone said Gina Carano when the Mandalorian put on too much weight. I thought she looked good.
I thought she looked fine.
Dude,
Yeah.
we talked about that over. Gina Carano is perfect. Some girls look good with weight. There are women that can't carry it, and then there are women that can.
They talk about the red carpet because she wore that goldish yellow dress.
Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's everybody's like, oh, she looks big. That fucking dress was horrible. I'm not a fashionista, but that dress wasn't the right dress for her.
No,
to wear.
one thing this group of guys knows is fucking fashion.
We know fashion.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a
I'm
fucking
fashion.
cardigan, so I don't know shit.
I know my
People
fashion.
can call me what they want to call me, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one. All right, when women are big, okay, some of them are curvy, but they love to say, oh no, it's curves. No, there's women who are curvy, and there's women who have jelly rolls.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Nothing against you, but you're fat.
Gina Carano wasn't fat though.
No, I'm just saying that there's, they love to, like, body positive. Okay, that's great, but just realize you're fat.
Well, there are some women that when they gain weight, it gains on their hips and boobs, and it looks good because it's expanded. But then you don't want to be a flatso. That's the word.
Exactly.
A woman that's overweight and then has nothing.
Dude, back in
You
the
look
day,
like a turkey.
Back in the day, it was when Anna
Like
when
fucking the
Anna Nicole
Tasmanian
Smith
devil.
had her show on E. All right, and she was all whacked out on all the different medications, and me and Bri were watching her, and I'm like, she's still beautiful. And me and Bri dubbed her a fat hottie.
Fair enough.
We made that. Nobody else can have it. We made that.
Well, as someone that's been
So
fat
then we
for many years,
started-
I like fat women, but
so
I
then
don't
we
like
started
obese
rating
fat.
women on the Foddy scale, But at the time, like, Anna Nicole Smith wasn't like out of shape. She put some weight on. She looked good though, but she was a mess. But we loved her because she was still the guest.
I forgot
girl.
she had her own show.
She was great in Skyscraper.
God, her and The Rock.
Imagine her all fucking pilled up. Hey, Ellen, would you fuck me?
She was a helicopter pilot.
put
Dude,
him in
her
my-
show
put him in
was
between
so
my
awesome
titties.
because at that time, like, hardly anybody was all whacked out on all the pills like she was. So like it was all new, I just remember watching it going, hey man, that's how my ex-wife walked around my house.
My brother's 10 years younger than me. We went to a family trip to Florida one year, and we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and that's where she fucking died.
Yeah.
It was in Seminole Hard Rock Hotel Casino, Hollywood, Florida. And my brother at the time was probably 14, and when we go in there, that show was on just before that, so he kind of saw the tail end of Anna Nicole Smith. Didn't get to see like who she was. How we know her, and he was just asking the fucking front desk, "Hey, what room did she die in?" I'm with this guy, like, "What are you doing?" Like,
That's a good question. Why can't he answer?
It is a good question.
I remember I was in my apartment. I was in my apartment. We were getting ready to move to Utah that year when she passed away, but I was watching on the news. They said they found her unresponsive and she passed away. And he had sent me a message. Brian's daughter was born. I go, dude, wow. Anna Nicole Smith just died like an hour ago. And he's like, no fucking way. I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, like, I was fucking with him. I was like, no, dude, you know how they say there's only so many souls in the world? He's like, shut up.
So her, yeah.
She basically died because she had like a couple surgeries in a row and was on all kinds of her body just gave out, man. You can't.
Well, I mean, it was just another thing, that the Hollywood fucking took another person and
she had to suck
made
that
him into
old
something
Crypt Keeper
that they
dude's-
really.
Well, she had like liposuction or something. She had like lipo and a couple other things, and then something like medically went wrong, like a lung infection. She was hospitalized a couple times, and then her body just
Well, yeah, because
quit.
his ass got
It was
just
like-
rubbing on the guitar, and he's still shredding.
That last
He's awesome, that's why.
year, she was doing all those commercials for some like weight loss product.
Yeah, you like
and she
my
was super
body.
thin. She was,
You like
yeah,
my
and she was
body.
super thin. Come to find out, she was having surgeries and stuff. She was lying about. They were lying about the crap she was taking.
Oh, she was
Of course.
Yeah, you can't lose a ton of weight. Now another thing too,
She was looking scary.
she
man.
wasn't big enough to be doing them surgeries like the
No.
surgeries where you got to lose 100 pounds in like 6 months. That's if you're 600 pounds and they're going to save
Yeah.
your life. When she was overweight, but she wasn't morbidly obese.
no.
And you can't lose if you're like 200 pounds. Like say she was 200, and you get down to 140 really fucking quick. That's like that's not good.
No,
Fucks your
it's
organs
not at
up.
all. And that's the thing. Like, all of a sudden they start showing her, and I'm like, dude, she looks like Skeletor, man. She was getting skinny.
Well, she was famous originally because of the guest modeling.
She was a guest model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did a lot of
Well,
Playboy
that's the
stuff.
thing.
Then
Her-
she
her at
married
one-
the Crypt Keeper.
She was on Playboy. She
Yeah.
married a Texas billionaire guy.
The Crypt Keeper, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and-
Yeah, but her at 140 pounds doesn't make sense because she was like fucking 6 feet tall.
yeah.
No, yeah, she was. She was. Dude,
So-
I know.
she was in the one Naked Gun movie.
That was probably her best role.
I had
33
She
and
was so
third.
awesome. She was so
Every-
hot.
She had a penis.
I wanted her, and I wanted Erica Laniak was my other.
Oh yeah,
Under
oh
Siege.
yeah, Under Siege.
Erica Laniak was fucking hot.
Playboy models, baby.
Oh yeah.
She came out of the cake and Under Siege.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, remember, you know, I took it was the Pam Anderson. I was going to say the Anna Smith Playboy, but it wasn't. I stole the Pam Anderson
yeah.
Playboy,
and
right?
and Keith blamed. I know who did it, by the way.
It was me.
Oh yeah, Brian. Okay, I wasn't going to say it, but he kept going on and on about it for. I know you guys, motherfuckers. I finally got sick of hearing it, and I go. I just finally said, like, Brian stole it. I didn't steal it. I'm tired of hearing it. He's still, even after I told him who did it, he was convinced that, like, I did it. And then I guess when he was around you, he's convinced you did it, Al.
The funny thing was, he thought I did it, and I was like 20 fucking years old already. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were like 14 at the time
Yeah.
when it went missing, if I remember correctly. I'm like 20, 21 fucking years old. Why the hell would I steal a Pamela Anderson Playboy when I could buy
Well,
one?
it was a compilation Playboys,
Oh,
especially
blah,
edition. It
blah,
had three
blah.
different.
You could
Didn't you
still
trade
get
it for porn films
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Paul?
that's what it was.
The guy that family owned the
Oh, yeah.
the clock shop.
Oh,
Did I?
Yeah, you traded it for porn tapes, if I remember correctly.
I probably did.
We were kids. I mean, 14 or 15, but it was
Yeah.
you.
I was like, wait, I can watch this like in motion instead of in a magazine.
yeah, and Paul's like, I got something better. Give me that Pam Anderson thing. I'm like, okay, even trade.
Yeah.
All your younger listeners right now are wondering what porn tapes are.
Yeah. See, videotapes,
When you-
VHS.
Back when we were growing up, if you wanted to jack off, first off, everyone had to be out of the house because you had to do it in the living room, and you had to lock the doors and put it into a VHS and jack off, hoping no one came home.
looking out the window.
Because
Yeah.
no kid had a VHS thing in their bedroom. There's no way.
How old are you? A VHS thing?
Not till the end when they became like they were $20 a piece.
Right.
Then all of a sudden we would have one. But that
Yeah.
was when DVD players were
Yeah,
coming in.
when like Sanyo started making them really cheap.
Yeah.
My parents are so funny because they're holding on, and they mainly in their place up north that they have. It's like my dad's dead set. It has to be a VHS/DVD player.
Yeah.
And like those are going away worse than the koala bears are right now.
My
Like,
in-laws still have one they don't use.
I have
want
one
just
at
an
home.
AM radio,
I don't
just
use
AM.
it, but I have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I have one. It works too.
And then my dad was so stoked back in the day. He's like, "Check out what I got." He's like, "It's a rewinder." Like, what's it do?
So it only rewinds?
You bought a fucking thing that only rewinds
Please be
movies?
kind and rewind.
There is an actual reason for that. It would fuck up your rotors in your VCR if you use
Yeah.
if you rewind and fast forward.
Yeah.
It eventually fucks your VCR.
Even
up.
I heard that was bullshit. They just did it to sell rewinders.
No, man, that's not true.
No, but my dad literally was like, he got it from Maloof's
Yeah.
and was like, "So I can rewind a movie and we can start another one playing right away." I'm like, fucking awesome. We saved 3 minutes.
See, our
I sounded
VCR
like
had,
I sounded like I work for Philips Magnavox. No, you had to get that rewinder. Okay, you had to get it.
my parents had one too, and it was just like this thin. You put the tape, and it only
You just you push it.
How come they never
Slide
came out
in,
with
you
a
push
fast
down,
forwarder
and-
that you would just put the movie in the fast forwarder, then take it out and put it back on the VCR to play?
whoa.
Whoa.
You just hurt my head.
Yeah, but if you think about it logically, something that's designed to spin. No, if you spin it a little bit faster, it fucks it up. Just ruins it.
I don't want to think about this logically, though.
Yeah.
I remember
No.
we had. I don't remember why I did it, but I kept on unhooking. Oh, because we had a cable line in the house. Even when we didn't have cable, that would get like a signal, and I would keep on unhooking it from the VCR and hooking it up to the TV. For some reason, we didn't have enough cords. I don't remember what the reason was, but I got to the point where I hooked it so much that the coax plug on the back of the VCR busted off. And my dad was so livid with me. It's the only time my dad only got mad like 6 times my whole life, and that was one of them because I broke the VCR, and he had to go take it to get fixed at the repair
Starlight?
shop. No, not Starlight. There was one down Gratiot near Frazo.
Okay.
by the trophy
Gibson.
shop. And it was like
Gibson's.
was it Gibson?
Gibson's
No.
Electronics.
On the other side, south of Frazo.
Oh, yes.
And
By Corky's.
where
Gonna
Corky's
fucking
used to
pee
be.
again. It's like
yeah.
my drinking days.
Yeah, and
Having too much coffee.
and he had to pay for a $200 VCR, it cost him like $120 to get it fixed. He was so mad at me.
I got two questions arise from the conversation you guys just had. First of all, Corky's. Why was there a fucking surf shop in Roseville, fucking Michigan?
They're surfing in Michigan.
Dude,
shut up.
he makes so much money off of that.
How?
I don't know. He makes like these whole yoga line of clothing.
Who the
too.
fuck? Okay, that might make more sense. But who's buying a fucking surfboard in Roseville?
Don't know.
It's all like online shit that he makes money off of. But initially when he sold,
well, now, but he wasn't making money online 25 years ago.
He did it to sell. He did it because it was like
it was a surf and skate shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be it too.
And then second,
bathing suits.
Starlight has been around since I was a kid.
Still open.
And like we all have flat screen TVs, and we all have a dollar amount. Where like if I have a problem with the TV, my first thing is like, how much does this cost to get this fixed before I buy a brand new TV? I don't know what that line is, but when I hear what you tell me, I guess I'll decide from there. I was like, my TV's from 2009, I believe.
Yeah.
Samsung TV. Works fucking fine. Great picture, everything. Fucking just stopped working one day. I took it in there. Dude's like, you really want to pay $100 to get this fixed? I'm like, yeah, that's
$100.
Yeah. Like he's like, yeah, I'll have it fixed. I'm like, he was like, thought that would be absurd. I'm like, dude, that's nothing to me right now to fix my TV. By all means. But yeah, like those dudes are super honest.
Yeah.
Shout out to Starlight.
Yep.
Nine and Harper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they're still in business. I don't know how they do it because.
And when you go there and you take your TV, they like tag it like they tag like sharks in the sea. They just put this like they fucking tag thing because there's shit fucking everywhere in there.
Right. There is.
Yeah, like
Watch his teeth.
Yeah, you'd never know like what is actually yours.
I don't know how something like that stays in business because flat screens are so disposable now.
I've gone to TV repair shops back in the 90s for like my uncles and my dad and stuff, and you go and it would just be a sea of TVs. It was weird. It was almost like an impound place or something.
Well, way back in the day, I mean, when they were all tubed, I mean, it was just a matter of replacing tubes. You know,
it was easy.
like it was
Oh, you could do it yourself, really easy.
Yeah,
that's funny too. We talked about that. Like as far as technologies come for the actual functionality of it, the weight of things is like so underrated. Like I remember taking tube TVs out of my grandparents' houses.
Yeah.
It's like
my God.
It's like 4 people lifting a fucking cabin TV out.
We talked about the
you
Sony
remember,
Trinitron. The Sony Trinitron's
was
the worst.
Yep.
Fucking 500-pound TV. If you dropped it, you were dead.
I don't know if you remember this, but Grandma Joyce had a TV. It
With
was
the record player?
It was a big cabinet with the record player, the big speakers on the side.
Yep.
And it was just a 13-inch black and white in the middle of it.
The thing was,
and this thing was like
670 pounds.
This thing was the length. It was wall length.
It was so big.
It was wall length. It had a record player in it. It had giant speakers. The magnets on those speakers were amazing.
Well, I think even besides the record player, wasn't there storage for records?
There was
next
storage on. Yep, there was record storage, and all I had though, right in the dead center of it, was a 13-inch black and white TV screen.
Hey Jeff, you ever move a TV?
I think it must weigh 790 pounds.
It was horrible. Yep.
Do what?
You ever move a TV that had tubes in it?
Yeah, an old tube TV. Yeah.
They weigh 5 billion pounds.
Sony Trinitron. I mean, that was it. Right
that was
there.
the one.
It wasn't even just because they were heavy. It was because there's no way to two people to grab them and like walk anywhere with it. You know, like you had limited mobility. I remember working at that appliance store. We had some guy that was repairing those, and we were selling them to people, and we were just using straps. We were using like
hump straps,
and we were just picking them up, standing up with them, and had it sitting on straps. And that was because that's the only way we could carry them. And then you had to balance them.
I hate when you help someone move. It was always a fucking TV or a couch that was really tall.
Hey, you got a truck?
Or hey man, my uncle gave me this freezer down in his basement. Yeah, I'm not helping. I would just go, yeah, I'm not helping.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because I knew exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be from 1956.
Yeah.
And it's going to have 700 pounds.
It was going to have a compressor the size of a transformer, you know, on the side of it. Oh, yeah, man, it ain't even been plugged in 6 years, and it's still frozen.
Yeah.
No.
Think about the most simple technological advance
technological
advance is the fucking wash tub.
Yeah.
We went from cast iron. You guys could just use plastic. does the same thing.
Yeah,
It's true.
That one that fell on Hinkle.
Hinkle. That's one of my favorites. He's just leaned on it, and just collapsed.
Pulled it out of the fucking wall. Was it Charbo's ants?
Yeah.
Pulled it out of the wall. There's like 6 of us picking it up off of him. It's like, what the? Why?
Dude, I've never
that's
actually
like-
been scared that somebody was going to die. Wasn't because of that. Later that night, he was so drunk that I thought
he wasn't drunk when he pulled the cast iron washed
he
up
got
out
more
of the fucking
drunk.
wall.
He got more drunk after that to the point where I thought he would, like, if he went to sleep, he wasn't going to wake up. He was that drunk.
My favorite part about that, though, is at that party, Andy, who already looks like Marilyn Manson, Brian Warner,
Yeah.
already looks like him as he dressed up like him for Halloween. So we have a concerned-looking Marilyn Manson as his friend is being crushed by a fucking cast iron washed up.
I remember I stopped at Kmart because it was when Kmart was thing, and I got a child's Batman mask and just wore it there, and it was the tightest fucking thing I've ever had to wear in my life. It was so small
with
on my
the one
face.
band in the back.
Yeah, it was so.
yeah.
Well, you guys actually have a good memory for shit. So one time when like the whole like Skarnak days,
Yeah.
when I was hanging out with your guys' younger brother, like there was a party going on not far from like the IROC. It was like a Halloween party, and then I was with Tom and Platsky, and we got the call like, "Hey, come here!" But it's like a hall party, but you need to have a costume. We stopped and got those same masks. Like I got like a Frankenstein, mummy, werewolf, and we got these, and we came into this hall party. And it was off like Whittier or something over there.
Holy crap!
Yeah, like it was like in the hood at a hall party, and we walk in, and it's like we get patted down, and then we get asked if we want any drugs. I'm like, I don't really know I don't want any, but
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was
When you're down in the hood, you got to act like you want them. Yeah, man.
We were
of course
involved
I'm
with
here
that?
for drugs.
You guys were at that party, I believe, or at least your brother was, because
Wow.
he was with whatever that girl he was with. I can't even remember her name now.
Amanda,
Amanda,
the other Amanda.
the first one.
Amanda won.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, yeah, we want to come to a hall party. That sounds cool. He's like, you need a costume though. They're not gonna let you in. So we literally just bought those like cheap plastic masks.
Yeah, I don't know if I was part of that or not.
I have a Captain America hoodie that has the hood that turns into the Captain America
Mask,
mask.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if I ever have to on a whim go to a fucking costume party, I have something
Well,
like
You
right
dressed
away.
as a nun. The one.
For a show,
Yeah.
a couple shows, yeah.
It's really fun to find like the easiest, cheapest costume that makes people laugh. Like, I mean, one year I just put on my suit and I had Janine get me a purple bandana, Prison Mike.
Oh.
Like easy. And people loved it. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid, but cool.
Well, you know what?
Jeff, remember when you were Morgan for Halloween?
That's what I was just getting ready to say. You remember when I dressed up as Morgan?
You put a pillow under your chest so you look like you were 400 pounds. And he dressed
I took
exactly
some
like
of his
Morgan.
clothes.
Yeah.
It was his clothes.
Oh, you actually got his clothes to do it?
Yeah,
I forgot about
a
that.
pair of his shorts and shirt, and I just put the pillow, and that was it.
That was the best costume ever, being Morgan. Yeah.
I have the picture on my Facebook page somewhere.
Yeah, I just saw it recently. I don't remember. I was going through and I was going to make a collage type picture, so I was looking for pictures from people's Facebooks and stuff.
I love that shit though when people like find a costume that's so niche, so like off the beaten path that only maybe 10% of the party is going to get it.
Yep.
But the people that get it fucking love it. Like, you ever see
Yeah.
the Reno 911 movie?
No,
Yeah. I seen a Lieutenant Dangle guy. He had the fucking short
Well, no,
nutters.
in the Reno, there's a guy that runs a hotel and he has dish gloves on and a bad toupee, and he's like, "Hey, you here for the Suck Fest?" I saw a guy at a Halloween party just dressed up like that. It's a
That's fantastic.
It's a 5-minute part of the Reno 911 movie. Hey, assholes, we got more assholes for your Suck Fest.
I dressed up as a French whore one year.
you
Yeah,
won the costume contest.
Yeah.
Desiree won.
He didn't know who it was. I come up with a blonde wig. I come walking up to him.
I didn't realize it was him at first. No.
No.
I decided to be a Bartleby from Dogma one year.
Oh, yeah.
Where I had like the metal chest plate and I had the angel wings full of blood, and I just had blood all over me. Man,
Yeah.
wearing angel wings at a fucking house party,
Horrible.
horrible
Yeah,
idea.
that was-
Just like catching people's face.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you're knocking people's beers out. To go like if we had a party here now to go to that bathroom, got to like shimmy in sideways
Oh,
like Ace
yeah,
Ventura,
yeah.
try and fucking piss. Like, what a fucking hassle.
Yeah, imagine
Good
like,
costume, but bad. Bad for maneuvering.
It was fun though.
Jay, I remember a post you put on Facebook. This might have been a couple years ago, but you were talking about dudes who they do the Jack Sparrow. Just because you're Jack Sparrow, it doesn't mean you get to talk to perverted to my girlfriend, bro.
Oh, dude, there was a point for like 8 years where there was just way too many Jack Sparrows.
And they'd go up to everyone's women, hey,
but then
in character.
But then
yeah.
it carried over to the Renaissance Festival. I was there with my family, and it's like, you want some rum? I'm like, wrong fucking time period, asshole. Like, you don't just get to be a ninja or fucking whatever you want to do here. It's not a costume party. It's a fucking Renaissance Festival. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
There is a theme.
Going to a medieval or a Mongolian themed party. You're like, all right, I'm Jack Sparrow.
And,
Right.
and every Jack Sparrow.
It's like, like showing up as Captain Morgan everywhere, right?
Yeah, and it's like they put on the eyeliner and they'd immediately like, well, now I can just fucking hit on anybody's girlfriend. It's like, you're going to get fucking your lights punched out, asshole.
Yeah. I like the one post though. I saw your tits are not a Halloween costume.
I did Lieutenant Dan one year at my house. I had like people over for a Halloween
that was
party.
great.
That was a good one.
I did Lieutenant Dan.
You CGI'd your legs out?
I was sitting in a computer chair that rolled around.
Yeah. He sat on his legs.
I sat on my legs.
They gave
And then I
you
put it all
the
over
Congressional
Facebook.
Medal of Honor.
I put it all over Facebook. I had the bandana on.
Did you have the long hair at the time?
Well, I had long hair.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even
And
better.
yep, just got an army green jacket. And, yep.
It was a pretty good costume.
Yeah.
I
was making people push me around. I had carpet through my house. I was making people push me around in the chair.
You just made me think of something. It was Frank. Of course, it was Frank. And I don't even know if we were in the band yet at this point. Maybe we were. But Frank always, for some reason, every year dressed up as like a ninja or something like that.
Yeah.
And he dressed up as a ninja. And I was like, I remember, I think I was like, I'm a demon on vacation or something. I had like a mask and I wore a Hawaiian shirt. But we got to Chris's house when he was, he still lived with his parents at this point. And we get there, and Frank's like trying to hide in a tree like a ninja and shit. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, he wouldn't move. Like I couldn't see him. I'm like, you're fucking douche.
Do you guys like Halloween? The age I would say our age because we're all relatively.
No, I don't care at all.
Yeah, like I like the idea of it. I always have good Halloween like right now I have amazing Halloween costumes.
Oh, dressing up in the costumes? No.
But then when Halloween comes, I'm so disinterested. I'm like,
no. I think
I don't have to see tits that bad anymore.
No,
I'm
and
okay.
and I don't want to put in effort for a costume. My focus now on Halloween is because
your kids.
Well, that too, but my neighbor is so obsessed with it, and he decorates.
Oh, yeah.
Your neighbors across from you kicked ass.
Yeah.
Every year.
That was amazing.
He listens.
He does it every single year.
Yeah,
and he's built all that stuff.
I made
I
made a special trip there with Taco. Walked by there to see that because I thought it was fucking cool.
Did you go around the block to the next block?
No, I literally just went on Park.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for telling everyone where I live. Anyways,
the park. I went to the park.
The next street over, Quinkert. The guy who ended up winning.
Street over, one street east of here.
That's west of me. See, oh damn, I just gave it away. The guy who won the contest here because the rec authority has one, so whoever decorates the best.
That guy across from you did not win.
No, and that's what I was going to say. He won last year, 2018.
Did he throw a fit?
He didn't win in 2019 because you're not allowed to win in consecutive years.
Oh, that's bullshit. If you're the
for
best,
2
you're the
consecutive years, he can't win again until 2021.
So what's the incentive to try?
Right.
That's my point. Instead of just giving it to the best, they give it to not the best, but the second best.
Was it even the second best?
Dude, this guy he bought a bunch of skeleton, like animal skeleton things, and put them in his front yard and draped cobwebs over them.
Yeah,
and he won.
How much did your neighbor bitch about that guy?
He didn't. He's like, I don't care. I know I was better than that guy.
So Tom and I had a great idea. We wanted to do a haunted house where it's all like the things that really scare us, like student loans.
Yeah, we talked about this last time you were here.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be so fucking good.
Why are you wheezing, Mike?
health insurance bills, insurance,
heart disease.
My left side of my face is drooping.
What do you
have a mirror that makes your face look like it's drooping?
You go.
What are you? I'm stroke victim.
Yeah, you go in one room and a check engine light just comes on.
What's happening in the mirror?
Right.
What's going on?
Giant check engine light.
Mine's on all the time.
Check
Mine is
engine
too.
light, yeah.
My O2 sensor that I don't want to pay to get fixed.
So as far as Halloween
when you
goes,
get a phone call and not a text, oh shit, something's going on.
Exactly. No, and I thought
like a friend, you're like, oh shit, it's mom.
That's how I
calling.
know something bad's happened. If Mike calls me instead of texting me, I'm like, oh shit, either A, someone is sick or died, or B, he needs help trying to calibrate his software for our next show or something.
That's usually. I swear, like whenever my phone says "Mom and Dad," I'm like, "What's wrong?" That's how I answered it for years. Because like, I'm not kidding when I say this. This is not a joke.
So even with your parents, I still talk on the phone with my parents, but I text with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when I moved to Utah, I lived there 8.5 years. My mom never once dialed my phone number. Never once. My dad called and then go, "Oh, you want to talk to your mom?" Well, that's why you called. I know.
Yeah.
My mom never dialed my phone number once while I lived out there.
It's funny you guys are.
Because it was always Dad that I talked.
It's funny you guys are worried though. You're saying if your parents call you, my mom.
Don't
me.
worry.
I no. If my parents, I always talk to my parents on the phone.
parents. I mean, I live with them.
It's like if
I just
mine
never hear from
text
them.
only now, so they're like everyone else. If I get a call,
If
I'm
Mike
worried.
calls me, or like even worse, like if Frank calls me, like Frank, I've talked to Frank on the phone twice in probably 10 years. It's always texts.
You're sitting there. You're like, "Oh my god, stop calling!" I text you back about what you want.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you get scared when people call you first texting? Fear level.
I don't even answer the phone.
Oh, so you don't care then? You're indifferent.
I have certain people I talk to, like my buddy Neil. Like we'll text and stuff, but like right now he's out on the road working, and he's working night shift. So I know, we'll text, and then he gets sick of trying to keep up with each other. So then he'll just call me. Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I
See,
guess if
I'm on
someone has something to
graveyard
say.
shift, so I keep my phone on silent.
Oh no, usually we don't. Usually I
Yeah.
just got to listen to him go. Like he's complaining about what he's doing at the shop, and then I'll be complaining because I'll be at work too, though. I'm like, that sucks. He's all by himself in some big old shop, and I got people around me, so I'm like,
I think you're a fag now if you talk on the phone.
Yeah, you're a fag.
well, he's my hetero life mate.
I got a question for you guys that work, Jeff and Alan. You guys work the graveyard shift. Do you guys' bodies still not adjusted? Like, you still tired all the time?
I still get tired at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why I always got to listen to a podcast or some music.
Yeah.
You never adjust.
With me, it kind of varies. Like if I sleep okay, if I get a good 5 hours of solid sleep during the day, then I'm okay for the night.
Do you work that time now?
I start at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm there till like 4:30 in the morning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Did you? I don't know.
I do not like being
So I'm
awake.
not technically I'm not graveyard shift. I'm the second half of the whole fucking day.
Oh, yeah, that's.
I don't
rough.
like being alive in the hours of 2 to about 6. Like, if I could just never see that time awake, I would be happy.
I've had a couple times
I
where
go in at 7 in the afternoon and work until 7 in the morning, so I don't ever see any daylight ever.
You guys got a lot of heart surgeons that follow the show here? Or?
No.
See, and that's like.
Is that why you're into all those vampire movies, right, Jeff?
We're basically the same shift.
Yeah,
I
pretty
just start a
much,
little
'cause I am
earlier
one.
than him, and I get out a little earlier than him.
I did it like a couple days, and I worked you got to work 11 to 7. I'm like, all right. So I did for 3 days.
So
and I
Jeff,
quit.
if you ever go on vacation, you'll actually feel normal, like you go to Japan or something. You're like, hey, I'm all right during the day.
Yeah,
That's why I quit my job
it's
at CBS
a struggle
back in
not
the
to
day.
sleep through vacation.
because of the night shift.
Well, they turned it 24 hours. It used to just be like a normal, 8 to 10.
Yeah.
They turned it 24 hours, and they're like, don't worry, you'll probably get like one shift every month. It was my next schedule was all 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. I'm like, later. Like this,
Yeah, and now it's not even 24 hours anymore.
It's not?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
The worst shift I ever heard of is Aaron. He has that swing shift where one day it's days, the next day it's nights or after.
Never.
You can never really know until
Nope.
the week.
I'm not doing
That would be fucking horrible.
I worked at places like that. I started to work at places like that, and they're like, they don't tell you till you start working there, and then they go, well, this is kind of how we do stuff, and I'm like, I'm out. I walk, because if you can't give me why would I want to come in one day work days, next day work a night shift or afternoon shift? I'm not doing that. Or I had places that were like, well,
Hey, but you're part of the family there, though. We're all one big family.
Yeah, but they don't. They're the people who decide that. They go home every night to their family, and they go home and they sleep like babies all night, and they come back to work all day. They don't do the same, but they don't realize what that does to a person's body. Like 1 week
Yeah.
you're on days. Oh, well, next week you're on afternoons. Oh, and the next week you're on midnight.
Yeah.
Well, that
Fuck you.
that was a fight I had with a coworker. Someone that decides on incoming, for shipping.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a driver, but sometimes I have to do warehouse. And we got pelted all at once with everything. And they're like, "Well, it's just got to get done." I'm like, I have a body that can only lift so much shit in a day. I can't do all this. So we just got to the point where we were like staging shit and just fucking leaving it.
Yeah.
Like, we're not touching it. I can only do so much before my bones crack.
It is insane how we've made so many industries and businesses feel like it's fucking more important than it really needs to be. Like, so many things don't need to have all these shifts and like all this.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking wild. Like, we need like police, doctors, fire department. Like, other than that, it's none of this shit's life or death. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I used to, when I would sometimes I'd walk home drunk from the bar, and you walk like maybe that the other side of 12 Mile from me, that industrial area behind the church, behind Cornerstone over there. And man, it would be 2-3 in the morning, and them guys are, doing stamping. I'm like, man, I feel fucking sorry for these guys. I'm coming home drunk, I'm done, and they're like, their day just begun.
I can't live like that. Like the last job I worked, at the end I was working 80 or 90 hours in a week,
Ugh.
but it was salary. And I was like,
Oh, that's a fucking
and I got to the point, I'm
shit.
like, fuck this. And my new job is straight 40 hours, 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, no weekends, no overtime. That's all I want.
I don't even mind working on the weekends. I actually kind of dig having my days off apart.
Yeah,
So-
but you don't work like nights or anything. Your shift is.
I do sometimes, yeah.
Oh.
But I was a lot of people were going to college at the time, and it was really hard to fill Wednesday nights. So I had no problem working a Wednesday night, but I'm out of there by 9. So
Yeah, who does shit on Wednesday nights anyways? I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe you go to a movie or something.
See,
but-
like at this point in my life, like I only work 5-day work week, and that's flat out. I will not do anything more. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
If you try to make me, I'll just quit. I don't care.
Well, especially
I'm
the
a
fucking
30-year
12
journeyman
hour- yeah.
machinist. I can tell you to suck my dick any fucking time, and I'll go right down the street and get another job.
I will
Pays the
not,
same.
good sir. No.
But I mean, that's basically how it is, and my boss knows that. He knows better to even ask us to do it. I give you half of my life Monday through Friday, and that's it. But I mean, it does. That's why I'm able to do this again, because I did it for 23 years, and then I went to days, and I'm like, oh my god, this is heaven. But at this point in my life, I don't have to have weekends off. It doesn't have to be Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
If it was like, all right, hey, you know what? Because I actually almost took another job that was actually a 4-day work week, and it was like 3 12-hour shifts and like a half day shift, but I was getting paid like 50 something hours a week, and I'm like, oh, well, all right, that's cool, and
Yeah, that would be cool.
and then I was gonna have like 3 days a week off. I'm like, yeah. They're like, the only thing is it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So what?
Yeah.
I mean, and I was still drinking at the time, but I was just like, whatever. I'm still an alcoholic. I can still
At
drink
our age,
whenever.
it doesn't matter when you drink.
Yeah,
If you're
right.
gonna do it, you're just gonna fucking do
Yeah,
it.
it was, but for the job, it was more like I got to the point where I was working so much that I was
Yeah.
living to work.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Live to work.
And I'm like, I just want something that's straight. I can make enough money to do whatever I need to do.
That's another thing with this job too. Is like I work a 12-hour shift, and I sometimes I stay a little late or I come in a little early or whatever. But it's not mandatory.
So, Jeff, don't you do
So
Jeff?
I don't mind it.
I didn't. I thought you were done. I'm sorry, Al.
Oh, good.
No, you paused, and I thought you were done.
Yeah.
Long pause.
You were like, and you did a Larry Merchant, and to assess what happened.
Jeff, you still there?
Jeff, you live?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Now, how many days a week? Don't you got to do a thing where you work like 10 days in a row, then you get 2 days off? You have like a strange schedule on your days.
I get every other weekend off, and then the weekends that I don't have off, I work Wednesday and Thursdays. I work basically like 3.5 days a week, like my normal 42 hours or so, and I get paid overtime after 30 hours. So I already get automatically 12 hours of overtime.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you work like 3.5 day work week? That's
like
that's
3.5, 4 days. Somewhere
Oh, that's
around
awesome, dude. I do that all day long.
But he's massaging men's wieners.
Oh,
No,
okay.
his job's way more exciting than that.
Wiener massaging's just.
I'll tell you what he does for a living. It's actually pretty cool.
What is it?
Spy.
That's actually it's pretty awesome. How much do you like Pop-Tarts?
Not at all.
No, you don't like them?
Not anymore. I got burned out on them a long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Toaster.
Does he make
strudel.
Pop-Tarts?
Yes.
You makes Pop-Tarts?
Not the generic ones, real ones?
Like Kellogg's Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yes. I would totally do that
We're
job.
actually like only
He really
one of 3 plants in the country that make them.
Oh, I'd totally do it.
Like, makes the actual Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he works a 3.5 day work week, gets 12 hours automatically gets 12 hours of time and a half. I'm in, man.
Question, are you a union employee?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So, well, that's me and my buddy Neil had this conversation because like Neil's been doing his job for like 16 years or so, and he's got all these young guys that like they're like they want like the technical like to learn stuff, and he's like, cool, because I don't want to anymore. I just want to come in and just like sit here, and just like get go through the night and do my normal thing. I don't need to learn all this new shit. And that's kind of the way I am now. It's like some of the younger guys are like, oh, I want to do like, get into the nitty gritty of these machines. All right, cool. I just want to schedule you to do your job. I'll check parts for you. And then I'm just going to kind of wander around all night and get paid for it because I already know how to do all of it. And I don't really want to do it.
Yeah, you're not really worried about it, career advancement now. You're you're thinking about the next 20, 25 years and finishing it up.
Oh, I'm not doing that many.
Well,
No.
you're older than us, though.
Yeah, I'm not doing that many. I'm done.
I was speaking for the room. not
Yeah,
just
my
you.
my goal is in 13 years, 60. I'll still work, but I am not putting in overtime.
You guys think Social Security is still going to be there when we need it?
No.
Nope.
I don't either.
Nope.
I had this conversation with people that are like,
Or you're gonna have to live to be 80
that are
to get
usually
it.
pretty negative, who are very optimistic about that, which I was very jarred by.
That is jarring.
Well, a couple of years ago, I read this article from an economist, and he said that there's actually, at that point, there was enough, if it stopped that day, there was enough to keep it going for like 40 years still.
I've heard that something like that before, too, yeah.
So it's just a matter of how bad they're going to screw it up.
But I don't even know about
Because
screw up.
the money's there. The money will be there.
Everything gets skimmed and allocated to bullshit. Mm-hmm. And it's just everything's corrupt.
It was never supposed to be used for anything other than
So I don't do 401k anymore. I do like my own personal. It's like a Ally Bank. It's online.
Yep.
It's a free plug for them, and they give highest interest. And I just save into that.
Ally has the best interest rates. That's a fact.
And that's all I'm doing. 401k. I'm not going. I'm not trusting none of that shit.
I only do the 401k because my company matches to a certain percent.
Mine does too. But the thing is, when I got in an emergency and I had to take it out, you got to pay it back, and it's a pain in the ass. And I don't know.
See, it was pretty easy when I did it to buy my house, but I was penalized. They were like, "Oh, well, you're penalized. You can't put anything in it for 6 months."
But
I'm like,
if you do it
so
for
what?
a primary residence, you don't have to pay it back, but you do get penalized.
Jeff, do you do
I
401k?
I had to pay it back. I took it as a loan.
Yeah, actually, I do 401k.
Oh, we did too,
I
that's
actually just took out 401k myself, a loan from it.
Mm-hmm.
My company matches, I think it's like 6%.
Oh, nice.
And then when I get done paying it, all I have to do is just wait a month, and I can take another loan out.
Oh wow!
Did we just turn into an NPR show?
No, I mean they're all different too.
Big money with Radio Underground.
They're all different too. Because I mean, when I took it out, I got penalized for like 6 months. I couldn't put anything in it. I'm like, all right, no big deal. I already knew that I was doing this, so for the first part of the year, I like loaded up. I was working overtime, so I basically maxed out for the year. So then the last 4 months and the first 2 months of the next year, I couldn't do it. So then after that, I just made up for it, and I still maxed out the whole year, and still,
I have no intention on touching it until I'm.
See, I handle a lot of my own stuff. I don't because the reason I stopped letting the idiots at Fidelity or whatever company they're in, because they're all idiots. They go by how old you are, and you keep it in like minimum risk now. Well, you lost $18,000 in 4 weeks of my money, so screw you. I took over. And so I handle mostly. I don't let them just make decisions.
That is one aspect of my life where I just don't know that stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't really know much about it.
I have people that...
I don't either, and that's why I do a personal savings account with Ally.
Ally Financial.
Another shameless plug.
I mean,
send the money my way.
The growth has been more than I would get doing what you're saying with like just like a account like that, but it's like it's never what you want it to be. I mean, we all want as much money as we can possibly have.
Yeah.
But it's just that's the one thing I'm just so. It's always worded lawyer speak where when you read these things you don't even know what you're talking about unless you've studied that. Like
right. And I kind of like looked at the different ones that we had at the time. When I lived out in Utah, was when I started doing it. And basically what I ended up doing was, because they lost so much so quick, I go, I want that back as quick as possible. Well, at the time, the price of gas was $4.50 a freaking gallon.
Yeah.
So I put 80% of my money into natural resources. And I made the $18,000 plus like another $6,000 back in like 3 months.
Yeah.
But I had a lot in my account, so it was easy to make it back quick. That's when I took the loan out, though. I go, all right, well, now I'm going to buy this house. So I took a $10,000 loan on top of what we already had to put down, so I could put a nice chunk down on the house. And then I didn't even see, like, the loan payment back to it. I didn't even see it. I mean, it just came out of my check, and I paid 4% interest to myself.
Yeah.
And at the time,
interest,
401ks
you get 2% interest.
401ks were like, 401ks were killing people at that time because the economy was going to shit. I mean, I bought my house in the dead middle of the recession.
I bought mine before, and now it's not worth as much.
Now, do you guys know? You guys know about money market accounts? Because Ally Financial pays out the best interest rates for money market accounts. we really need that sponsorship.
I was thinking about. I don't know. Just hear me out. Like
they're on your side.
Strapping a bomb to a pizza guy and sending him into a bank.
That's a really good idea.
This thing's gonna go off. Can someone help me?
All right. So the commercial for Ally for Radio Underground is gonna be Ally Bank. They're on your side.
Yeah.
We only take some of your money.
They're on your side.
I know I'm gonna get burned by it somehow when I finally get enough money in there. Like, Civil War broke out. Country splitting into 7 states.
Well, that's just like
your
like
money's useless.
I mean, for years I've messed with people that like with the. I do the 401k, but I tell people I'm like, well, you're gonna pay taxes on it, but then there's the Roth IRAs. Well, you don't pay. You're doing it after taxes.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get taxed when you go to collect on it. I go, oh no, that's right now.
Yeah, what happens when the tax laws change down the road?
I go, by the time I tell people, I'm like, by the time you get to it, they're going to be taxing you again on it. Well, they can't double tax. Really? Ask my parents how that went when they won that lottery money.
I don't have a plan to actually retire. I'm thinking about in the next couple of years, just to heal my body and organs. I'm going to not work for like a year because I'm not going to live long enough to retire.
Backpack across Europe.
I'm going to do a sabbatical.
Sabbatical, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to do it for like a year and a half, and then I'll go back to fucking driving a truck or whatever.
I'm just hoping that bullets are still, easy to be bought.
Yeah.
I have plenty.
You know what is what you can't get your hands on all the time? It's explosives to make a neck bomb.
Yeah. And then we send that person into a bank.
This is a joke. FBI.
We got a plan here.
It's a joke.
It's a movie.
Ain't no joke. We're making money.
We're creating a movie.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
I like all the doomsday prepper stuff we talked about that before, but they try to get you got to invest in gold. And it was Al Jorgensen from Ministry, who's a fucking idiot, but he was right about one thing.
Yeah.
He goes, why are you going to have a bunch of gold if you can't protect? The Marauders are going to just come take your gold.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the word Marauders, I instantly think of the Fallout game series.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I think about G.I. Joe Slaughter's Marauders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about gangs.
Yeah, I automatically think of things going on in the wastelands. That's immediately what I go to.
The Marauders.
This kind of naturally goes into
I always
the
think
whole,
there's one of the high schools around here is the Marauders.
Yeah, it is.
Mott. That's right, because that's where Bry went.
Mott also has a dome gymnasium that I always thought was really cool when I was young.
That's right, because Bry went there and he hated it. He's like, I hate the Mott Marauders.
So, do you guys know more about what's going on with the Virginia gun law stuff?
No.
I didn't.
There's gun laws in Virginia?
A year ago, I would have been totally all about it and ranting and raving on here how much I hate the government. But I haven't looked into the case.
Me either.
Well, some of it sounds pretty fucking extreme. Like, one of them was like, if you're a gun instructor and then someone that you instructed went and did something like wrong, like shot up a place later, you're liable now. How are you supposed to know what the fuck the people you're teaching
better do your research on that
are going to go
person.
do like down the road? But the thing that made me laugh was that they were surprised that like the militias and like the gun people out there were going to like storm City Hall or whatever. But then the radio was painting them as like they're going to paint gun enthusiasts or gun owners, not even enthusiasts, like people who
a regular gun owner,
regular gun owner as racist now. And that's like the classic thing. It's like these people are racist.
Well, if you want to make someone look bad, just call them a racist.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you got to do.
And that's kind of what's happening now is because they don't know how to combat what's about to happen. It's getting kind of ugly, I guess. But now it's just let's just paint them as racist.
Well, that's the funny thing is we talk.
So
about,
this is going on in Virginia.
Yeah,
there was they had some strange clause where they were talking about potentially doing gun confiscations, which is totally unconstitutional and will cause
You need to get a hold of coconuts. We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
All right. So
he's the one. He goes on about it. I don't know.
I knew that,
I don't know enough about it to really comment.
That's why I was asking you guys because I only know a fragment of it that I just started reading into it.
So if you're a gun instructor and you teach somebody how to use the gun, then they go and use a gun inappropriately, you're in trouble. So I'd be like, okay, I'm a flight instructor. I'm going to teach you how to fly a plane. I teach you everything that you're supposed to do.
Okay, that happened at 9/11.
Well, yeah, but except for those idiots were going there and going, yeah, we don't even want to learn how to land.
And they didn't, and they still trained them.
And they still trained them. I'm saying legitimately, if you are a flight
Here we are
instructor,
laughing about
9/11.
well,
get rid of this whole.
But if you're a flight instructor and you're teaching somebody how to fly and you teach them everything properly, how to land and everything properly, and then they go and take off and say crash into something purposely. Now, I mean, what, you can hold that person responsible? I mean, no.
Well, also, you know how this is done, though. All the things that I'm talking about are just like the bullet points I just read or heard about, but they're going to be mixed into bills that are 30,000 words of other shit that have nothing to do with it.
No, I've tried to stay away from it. I don't know why. I just...
you're just going to get stressed out.
Yeah.
There's no point. Like, I can bitch about it, but
I thought,
what am I going to do?
I thought the most interesting point, though, was even disregarding all the things that they're proposing and all, like, whether you're anti-gun or for guns or all that, is the fact that now the media is making the effort to paint all the people against these things as racist.
Well, that's
the classic way to...
It backs people down. Like, if I had a position and I was worried that they were going to paint me as a racist, I might back down because it ruins your life. Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, you don't have to do. I mean,
it justifies the disarming at that point.
So that's kind of
to the public, anyways.
Yeah, like, well, if you don't accept being disarmed for no reason, you're a racist.
But, okay, but all right. So if you're black and you don't agree with it, are you racist?
Yes.
No, they totally get there are a lot of black Second Amendment guys, and they get called white supremacists.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
They're Uncle Toms.
Yeah. Well, they don't even get called Uncle Tom. Yeah. They get called white supremacists.
White supremacists.
It's fucking stupid. But it's a tactic that generally works. People will back down because, like, I was talking about that. We did the serial killer episode, and Jeffrey Dahmer, on his way to prison because he ate black guys, he made the distinction. Hey, I'm not a racist. I ate them because they lived in my neighborhood. I'd eat a white guy the same, you know. He had to, even Jeffrey Dahmer had to clarify. Hey, look, man, I'm no racist.
And that was
I'm a cannibal, but I'm not a racist.
That was like 20-something years, almost 30
To
years
be
ago.
fair,
when
at
he had to do
Thanksgiving,
that.
there are times where the dark meat is really good, and the white meat's also really good.
He did eat a couple white guys, but they were just appetizers.
Yeah. Well, it just happened to be he was in a predominantly black neighborhood, and there was a predominantly gay black bar that he would frequent.
Well, Jeffrey was quite sick. He did drill bit lobotomies and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking-
like comparing people to race, to calling people racist is borderline. Was it Godwin's law? Where eventually, if an argument continues, it gets to the point where someone ends up accusing someone of being a Nazi or B Hitler.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like somebody,
so it's like Godwin's law, but with racism instead.
Yeah.
it's like somebody that I dated. Her dad one day said that he said being gay is like being black. It's a choice. And I went,
What?
what?
That's not yeah. Well, my younger sister Kate, we were giving her a choice with the
Yeah.
pills. And,
The pills.
Yeah, well, she could take the pills, the white pills.
Let's bring in our guest RuPaul this week.
Yeah, if owning guns makes you a racist, then the Bloods and Crips are extremely white supremacists.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Every gang on the West
Oh,
Coast,
yeah.
you're white supremacists. The cartels are white supremacists. All of
Yep.
you,
We're
you're
all-
white supremacists.
Yep.
You have guns.
All
And
over
then
the
I heard,
country,
like,
all over the world.
Eminem dropped that album yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I guess
Something about gun laws in one of the songs.
the whole album, I guess, is like pretty focused on that. But the album's called "Music to Get Murdered By."
yeah,
Yeah.
But then I thought it was going to be him, like, kind of championing for guns.
No,
I guess
no, no.
it
It's the opposite.
It went the other way.
Yeah, he's
I-
very-
I'm gonna go and take all the safe, politically correct opinions and then spin it as I'm
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's what he
and
does.
yeah. Fuck you.
And by the
Eminem,
way,
fucking-
like his daughter's like I don't know what are they called now? Social media influencer. That's
Yeah.
what she
Yeah.
does because she has no career other than she's Eminem's
She doesn't
daughter.
need to be.
Yeah.
She's just some
be
kind
Eminem's
of
daughter.
she's just Eminem's daughter and then like a social media influencer.
Yeah.
But by the way, not hot.
no.
Not hot. I'm sorry, but they're like, oh, look at her.
we are
She's
gonna-
so amazing looking. No, she's not.
Was
She's
Eminem
not
against
hot.
Was Eminem against guns when he was pistol whipping that guy up at fucking
Right.
10 and Hoover?
Right.
Were
Right.
you Eminem?
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
you weren't then.
When he was pulling guns out, and they were him and the ICP had their thing too, and he was pulling guns out on people. Oh yeah.
I just want to make good music. I like when Eminem makes
Yeah.
good music.
He's an extremely talented guy. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about it. His talent
So
is
stick
really
to making music, you
but
know.
I don't like it. I don't like the music for personally because I'm not a rap enthusiast, but he's very good.
Yeah,
But
He's
whatever.
one of the good ones. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Yeah, him. Or what's like him and Tupac, or like you can not like rap, but say, "Oh, they were talented," you know.
Yeah.
Tupac Shakur.
Speaking of Tupac, I heard something interesting about Big John Stud over the weekend.
How does this
Yeah,
coincide?
whatever.
That's a perfect segue.
Perfect segue to
Perfect
stud.
segue.
It makes sense.
No, he just made me the dying thing. I don't know. Something made me think of Big John Stud, but
He
John
died.
Stud
He's
died?
dead. Yeah.
he's dead.
when did he die?
And Eminem talked about killing somebody once. So there we go. That's the segue. Big John Stud died of cancer. Okay? Prostate, I think it was.
Recently?
No, he's been dead for like 20-something years.
Oh man,
Yeah. But
I was his biggest fan. Come on.
the thing I read was he would never ever admit that the steroids that he took almost his entire career contributed to his cancer.
oh
He also took a bunch of HGH because he wanted to be as big as Andre. He
wanted
took
to be
a
as
bunch
big.
of shit. Yeah.
But he insisted until the day he died that one of the contributing factors to his cancer was when he was filming the classic film Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. He got into a motorcycle accident, and that contributed to him getting cancer. You ever
So,
heard that?
Is there any correlation between car wreck people and cancer?
Wasn't even that he was driving a motorcycle. He was on set.
Well, first
he
of
did
all-
something. Basically, he wasn't even riding it. He just rolled it, and something happened, and it fell, and he hurt himself doing it, and that's where the
Well,
cancer came from.
I think cancer, unless you like live by like high radiation or toxic waste, I think it's mostly genetic. Probably wasn't that. It probably wasn't even steroids because all the steroid people would. You can get liver cancer though. Actually, I take it back. If you got liver cancer, it was steroids.
What if you live in an area where there's just green slime pouring out of the freeway?
Did you see that? They said that it did contaminate water in the area too.
Well,
What's that?
That all of a sudden yesterday they're saying that the green slime did get into the water.
And that's at what? Cousins?
Cousins in 696.
Okay, Madison Heights area.
They don't know to what extent though.
That's the same shit from Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't know that.
Let's go have some Slurpee.
Two things I didn't know.
Liver cancer.
Two things I did not know.
He got liver cancer, Mike.
And that was.
Did he really?
Yep, no joke.
Well, then.
Oh, wait, liver cancer and also Hodgkin's. But he had liver cancer.
Steroids.
Yep.
The two things I did not know was that Big John Studd died 20-something years ago.
Oh, he's been dead forever, man.
You were his biggest fan. You didn't even know.
Right. The other thing I didn't know was that Big John Studd was crazy.
I'm sorry, Big John Studd
Because he
died
thought-
25 years ago.
Because he thought that a
Motorcycles
motorcycle
give you
accident caused cancer.
yeah, I read
So
that.
I mean, there's two things I did not know.
Yeah, did they do that at the motorcycle safety seminar at the Secretary of State? You go, if you wreck, you could die, you could break your limbs, you could break your neck. You got to wear a helmet to avoid brain damage, and you could get cancer.
It's true. It's what happens.
It's like, come on.
It's a natural progression of
yeah,
it.
like you don't want to get cancer, do you?
Scientists have done a 25-year study
If you don't
on
get
the
it-
effects of motorcycle accidents and found that it's cancer-causing.
Yeah, if you don't get decapitated, you will get cancer.
He rode the motorcycle the whole way with his mouth on the exhaust pipe.
It's like-
Such a good movie.
Can I do another bad segue to
Sure.
something that I just thought about? So I was with a buddy in Ferndale 2 weeks ago, and you know like how you have to park at the spots where it tells you the number of your space?
Yeah.
And then you plug it in at a kiosk?
Yeah.
We're standing there, and this lady's in front of us, and she's just like taking fucking forever. And we're like, what is this bitch doing? And all of a sudden she just goes, oh, no. She fucking shoved her credit card into the spot that gives you the receipt.
How'd she get in there?
She was jamming it in there the whole time.
Oh, my God.
And then so
Kicking it in?
yeah, she was just shoving it, and we were like, what is this bitch doing? We were there for seriously 5 minutes. And then when she turned out, she's like, I just shoved my card into the thing that gives you your printout of your your receipt for your parking. We're like, okay, well, fucking get out of the way now so we can put our card in the right spot. So we could park.
And not care if we get a receipt.
And not care if we get a receipt. She's like, well, what do I do?
I don't know.
And I was like, call this fucking number on the machine and hope for the best. And she just started crying, and we're like,
Was she drinking?
Bye.
no, she
It was
was
before?
old. She was older,
Oh.
but she just jammed her credit card like just all the way into the fucking receipt.
This
paper.
slot looks good. Why not?
Okay, but when you say older, she wasn't like 80-something.
Probably like late 40s,
Oh.
early
Oh.
50s.
Still, she's
But
young
not-
enough to know the
but not-
difference.
Not like
though.
a young like a young girl going out
Right.
there just to get wasted. She was
Yeah.
probably meeting some other designing women for fucking dinner. Or
but
something.
she doesn't come from the age group that shouldn't know that that's not where that
To
goes.
be fair, at this specific kiosk in Ferndale, there was no light on it. I only know the machine because I've used it before.
Yeah.
So if you've never used it, you're in the dark.
Does it only take cards?
I think these ones
Okay,
do
yeah.
now.
yeah.
Jeff, you were the most patient person I ever seen in my life. You've been here still?
Wow.
He probably walked away from his phone. He's done the-
No, I'm back. I'm still
So,
here.
Are you eating a Pop-Tart?
No.
Do you get like free Pop-Tarts for working there?
Fuck no, we don't.
Oh, man.
it's like working at a place that gold mine. They
right.
they check your pockets. No one can leave with these Pop-Tarts.
So I got to ask, though, like, do you make the mini Pop-Tarts there? Like the little ones?
No, we just make regular Pop Tarts
Oh, okay.
and Nutri-Grain bars.
Ooh, Nutri-Grain bars.
Ooh. Now you make like frosted strawberry, like my favorite?
Yeah, we make strawberry, brown sugar, cinnamon. We do Jolly Rancher flavors.
I just like.
Do you make the ranch flavored Pop-Tarts?
I'm.
No, we don't make that.
I've seen people. I've seen people make memes about that. It's the worst thing ever. I hate
my
ranch so
God.
much.
I don't hate ranch. That just sounds.
I fucking hate it. And somebody keeps on posting the same picture of ranch Pop-Tarts.
Oh, dude, that. Oh,
Ranch Davidian.
Oh my God! That'd be a good name for him though.
I think there should be like some sort of
it's a meme I've
sort of
seen.
sandwich called Ranch Davidian,
Ranch
like a
Davidian.
chicken bacon and ranch, but it's
Yeah,
got
like a chicken.
you eat it and you'll die from shock how good it is or something.
Oh man.
Well, we just got done making pretzel Pop Tarts that you will see commercials for at the Super Bowl
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
during the
Sweet.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Federally
I'm in.
approved Ranch Davidian.
I'm in. Were you supposed to share that trade secret? Did you sign a no?
Are you trying to give it? That's Jeff's 401k tip. Invest.
Did you sign a confidentiality clause? Because I did that with a company, so I couldn't speak
No.
about the things we did.
No, I don't
Well, you
think
work for
so.
the government. You contracted government.
Wait,
back
Pop Tarts
then.
are government ran?
They are now.
They are
No,
now.
but I mean, any company can do that. You can. I mean,
Yeah.
it's trade secret. You know, if it's like trade secret, you could sign a. You know, if you want to work here, you got to sign this, and if you speak about it,
Yeah.
and,
And they could make you sign, especially with Pop Tarts. They could be like, "Will you sign this? If we fire you, you can't go anywhere. You can't go work for Pillsbury or somebody.
No more
You work
toaster
for
strudels.
Pillsbury.
You can't go. That's true. You can't go work for competition for like
Yeah.
2 years afterwards.
well, like my the company I worked for, if I would have went to like Honda or Rolls Royce or Pratt Whitney, they all made engines, jet engines. I would have immediately been blacklisted. I could not work for that company
Yep.
ever again.
They would have Bob Lazard you.
Yeah.
Totally.
So when I was in the bathroom, I did hear Ranch Pop Tarts, as I heard, right?
That's because there's a meme that somebody kept posting.
It's funny because remember on SNL, Maya Rudolph would play Donatella Versace.
Yeah.
They did wine Hot Pockets.
Yeah. Wine Hot
It
Pockets.
was like Chardonnay Hot Pockets.
There was
Dude,
one.
I just remember the Pepsi Clear and they
Crystal
did like
gravy.
The crystal
Yes.
gravy.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
They poured that clear,
Crystal
that
gravy.
clear
It was crystal-
liquid.
it was just like gel
It was
coming
like
out.
this clear gel all over your mashed potatoes
Also,
and
I-
turkey.
He dipped the whole chicken leg into it.
Right now.
Yeah, the Van Halen
Yes,
song.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Also, I don't think this is a hot take, but Maya Rudolph, funniest female SNL cast member.
I would agree.
ever.
Absolutely.
I would. Yeah.
Absolutely would agree with that.
Yeah.
Her and Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
funny.
Kristen
Yep.
Wiig is
So
an Amy.
Connor
Amy
won
Poehler.
with a head kick.
Did 30 seconds in?
Less than a minute.
Everyone called it. Then everyone told me not to watch this fight tonight.
Wait, who?
Conor McGregor won.
He won by a head kick. He kicked.
Less than a minute in.
Carol O'Connor fought tonight.
Carol.
Carol O'Connor.
That's
Okay.
the heat of the night right
Yeah,
there.
that's it.
That's all in the family, guys.
That's all in the family.
So what is this All in the Family thing they're doing with Woody Harrelson?
They already did it.
Like what is it though? Is it
It's just a live version of the show.
yeah, it was like a stage, right?
Yeah, it's a live film before a live studio
Yeah.
audience.
and I guess it's doing really well, like ratings.
Oh, it's just a special. They only do it once a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like an
Yeah.
hour long, or maybe it's more than an hour long.
But
I
they
don't know.
mixed it with the Jeffersons.
They
or-
did two of them this year. Last year they did just
Because that's how the Jeffersons started.
All in the Family, and then this year they did All in the Family plus its spin-off Jeffersons.
the Jeffersons started on. If you watch
Yeah, they started
the early ones, George
No,
Jefferson lived next door.
I just didn't know what the point of this all was.
Yeah, because he was kind of Archie Bunker's what you would call what
the lovable bigot.
not politically correct.
They
at
called
all.
him. They called him the lovable bigot.
and
but-
I know they didn't go that route with this, so it's like, what's
No.
the point?
That Eric Cartman became like that character, like the likable bigot
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like Cartman.
You know, like Carmen.
I love Cartman.
I love.
Well, I just saw that kick to the face. It was bad, but
Brutal.
He kicked him. Look, face
I can see it
kick,
from here.
I could see it.
Face kick into a
Death punch.
knee that didn't really land. But
Well,
here
I
comes
guess
the punch.
I'm happy
Boom.
I didn't go all the way out to Hall Road and watch these fights tonight.
No, like we said, it was kind of a shit card.
I would. Well, I knew this was going to happen, and it was the only
who
It's
won?
like-
Who won the chick fight?
It was like.
home.
Fight.
Yeah, I figured that.
It was
one,
like
too.
back in the day, like every time there was a Mike Tyson fight on, and we'd go to the bar to watch it. And I remember when Andrew Galata, he was like a Polish fighter,
Yeah.
and Bry was all excited. He's like, "Look at the size of that dude! He's gonna kill him."
Was
And
that the nut punch?
Yeah, we went to. All I know is we went to Winners, and he goes, "Yeah, the fight's getting ready to start," and we look up. I look up and I see that they're getting ready. And then I look back up, and I see him on the ground. And Bry's like, dude, it's over. I'm like, yeah, because it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson busted him up pretty bad.
He's like, dude, but that guy was way bigger. I go, but it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think like the first or second time I was over here doing the podcast, Matt was here, and then we just started talking about like our favorite UFC moments like ever in the history of the company, and that fucking Crow Cop when he got kicked in the fucking head by Gabriel Gonzaga. I was like, well, I just saw a fucking murder on TV for the first time ever, so that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, like me and Bri, I mean, we watched UFC back in the day, like when, like 1994, 95. I mean, it was like nothing.
One of the first ones was actually at Kobo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to get these videos. We'd rent them. His sister worked at a video store, and I mean, he didn't have them everywhere.
I remember renting the old UFCs from Family Video back in the day.
But I mean, like in 1994 or so, when we were first finding them, I mean, they were just like, there was limited, where you'd find them at, and
guys were fighting multiple times in one
night. Yeah, and it was bare knuckle, bare knuckle brawling. It was, I mean, we watched some really cool shit. I mean, some of them were just, I mean, Dan Severn was from Coldwater, Michigan. He was just a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Yeah, he was. I like
the Beast.
The old days were cool because it was
Ken
back
Shamrock.
when guys were from a pure style would fight each other. You get like a karate guy versus a.
One of my
pure
favorites.
wrestler
Well, I mean, there was a lot of guys that were doing like the Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff. But one of my favorite guys was Marco Ruas, and this dude had. I mean, he could have easily. His hands were so big he could engulf probably a basketball with them. I mean, you wouldn't even see. He'd grab somebody's head. If he grabbed somebody's head, there was nothing. You didn't see it. He was this long, lanky dude, and he'd just get in these crazy positions and basically choke people out. But he would like just watching him fight. Man, he was this big, lanky dude.
Yeah.
And we worked with this guy Mark, so we'd call him Marco all the time because he was lanky like him. But just watching some of that shit was cool, But then I don't know, it became more of like, to me, I don't know. A lot of it seemed like it was becoming more wrestling.
Well,
it is.
WWE.
Yeah, they do a lot of promos. We were talking about there.
Yeah.
A lot of promo cutting and
it's
build
wild
up
because like kids these days they've been born into the internet. Like we're pre and post internet where it's like I remember like let's go to the fucking video store and you come back with a UFC 2 VHS, Faces of Death, and a Girls Gone Wild tape.
Summer school.
Fucking party time.
And summer school all the time.
Ski school.
Ski school is pretty good. No, it was no summer school.
There's got to be another
I can't believe
movie
people
coming.
paid for that pay-per-view. That was a horrible card, and it was preordained Conor was going to beat him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I thought that both the main event fights were preordained. I thought, although Pennington's a little bit different, she could have won it, but I thought Holm was going to win the whole time, so it wasn't.
That was another actually good UFC moment was when she fucking took out Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable.
They probably weren't happy about it when it actually happened. Because they're like, oh, shit.
Well, she never went on to capitalize on that to like get the rub to be the next big star. Which
No,
kinda like,
she's not, because she looks like a dude.
she looks like Amy Schumer.
Really super emaciated
Yeah.
Amy
Because
Schumer.
I remember right after that fight, Amy Schumer like just tweeted like, "Oh, thank you everybody for all the congratulations." It's like a shit talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
$60 for that card.
the thing with Ronda Rousey is she started to believe her own hype. Like, I can beat most men, and there's no one that can even touch me. And she was the first. Well, Cyborg was around, but Cyborg wasn't in UFC or in her division at the time. So she never thought like the girls would catch up. Then once the girls caught up to her, it was just
and then it
got bad.
Yeah, once she actually got knocked out, she became kind of gun shy too. She didn't want to.
Well, the aura was gone because what was that boxer back in the day? That Prince Nassim Ahmed.
Yeah.
That dude was like undefeated for a while. Had those big long entrances.
Yeah.
But once he lost that one fight, his shtick was done.
Well, I mean, it kind of happened to Brock too. Once Brock finally got caught.
Yeah.
Well, he lost his first fight, didn't he, to Frank Mir also?
Frank Mir.
He got him in an ankle lock, or it wasn't something stupid though. He didn't get like knocked the fuck out.
He was winning the fight and then got caught, and then everyone was like, "Well, he's new. He's got to learn." And then he kind of learned better defense, and then started bashing the shit out of everyone.
And then he got a title fight way too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, but then he came up against who the fuck knocked him out?
Well, the
Cain
first
Velasquez.
Velasquez.
And after that, he got kind of scared. I think.
and then Overeem, like he kneed the shit out of his ribs, and he panicked. And,
Yep.
And then they threw him that fucking soup can Mark Hunt fight, which was just a joke. Like when he came
Oh, I
back.
forgot
Well,
about
Hunt's a legit fighter,
Hunt
but
can knock you the fuck out.
but he doesn't. He never was a very good wrestler.
No.
So he just kept getting takedown.
Mark
took
Hunt,
down.
if he catches you, he will knock your fucking head off. But
He knocked out Roy Nelson, which was I thought to be impossible.
impossible. Yeah.
And he did do it.
But
so.
I remember watching some of those early ones. Me and Bri watching them, and like the guys who fought on the ground. They were like into the jiu-jitsu and stuff. And I remember like big guys just like pummeling them. Getting a all of a sudden wham, just like, and these guys never got hit.
Well, those
you could tell they never got hit.
Those
like,
early
like
cards, those guys were all. I mean, obviously they were all in shape and they were athletes too.
Yeah.
Even like the guys like fucking Tank.
But there was
Abbott.
no classes. It was just like,
But
okay,
they also had
you
like
can fight this dude.
There also was like an everyman aspect to it.
Yeah.
So now every single guy that does this now is part of a camp that's part of an overtrained, overanalyzed, overworked idea. It's like no one's an everyman. That's like a
No, they're athletes now.
yeah, it's just an athlete. It's like
But yeah, I just remember though, like you would see like a guy like that had like some technical style get his skull pummeled by somebody who was just a badass, and then you'd never see that guy again. You'd never see him fight again. They're like, I wonder what happened to that dude.
Well,
he got his
was
head
another
caved
one
in.
back in the day.
yeah,
Because that kind of happened to Hoist Gracie too when he fought Shamrock. Shamrock fucking got him the one time, just unloaded on the dude's skull, and I mean he didn't fight at all for a while after that. He was
Well, you just said the different disciplines also, but think about letting him wear the gi or whatever.
Yeah.
Also that's so you have we can all wear different shit now. Okay, I'm gonna wear a fucking trench coat.
Yeah, right.
The one boxing
that
glove
gi
guy,
was
the one boxing glove guy.
Art Jimerson.
that gi, man. He would use that to his. He used it and would get people locked into shit.
Well, the gi's a weapon. They use it as a strangulation device.
Yep.
Guys that know enough about it.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember watching Hoist Gracie. The one dude was, he's got him in an arm bar, and he's like trying to he can't speak English. He's trying to tell the dude tap out. I'm gonna break it. And the guy's like fighting it. And all of a sudden, snap. I'm
the
like,
more we talk about this now, I'm just memory lane. I remember there was one black dude Goodrich was another guy that was in there.
Yeah, Gary Goodrich.
Yeah, BF Goodrich.
Goodrich.
Yeah, Gary Goodrich. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he was
brother.
also a one of the greatest arm wrestlers ever. Gary Goodrich was a phenomenal arm wrestler.
Did he have to ever fight for custody of his son?
No, but he drove a truck.
I remember a guy Oleg Tiktarov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dude, he would get into these fights. People would wail on him, man. He had I don't know, dude. He had a steel fucking forehead, dude. Because I remember this one fight, this dude just kept headbutting him, and he had it looked like a giant.
Dan
gray,
Severn busted him up real bad.
Yeah, it was Severn. That he had a big this gray knot, and it looked like a mouse. Yeah. And it was just, it was just growing.
It's a hematoma.
And he just take it. And then Bri told me years later, he's like, yeah, that dude disappeared, literally disappeared. He went on a vacation somewhere and nobody ever saw him again.
I heard it. I heard that was actually a publicity stunt.
Was it?
And he ended up, being found. It was for a movie. They were they were doing some sort of method act, but according to the press and people at the time, they thought he was.
Yeah, that's
about Oleg.
Yeah, there was something where
Oleg was in all kinds of movies after that.
Yeah, it was supposedly it was a stunt.
Oh, okay. Because
the
I
production
just remember
company put it the guy. It would be kind of like the Blair Witch. Some people thought it was,
right.
Whatever.
Did it? Yeah,
that movie was just right time, right place.
Because
you can't do that now.
I Brian thought that holy shit.
Bri was like,
lost
yeah,
in
dude,
the Congo
I don't know.
or some
I never
shit.
heard anything else. Bri's like, I never heard anything else. They just said he went on some vacation or on a trip or something, and he just disappeared. I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah, because I've seen him in 10 different movies probably since then.
Yeah, he went to Hollywood.
Yeah, he did pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
I think he was in the
Bad B movies or something.
No, some of them. No, he was in a movie with De Niro.
He was in full on Hollywood films.
Holy shit!
Wasn't he in the Kevin James MMA movie for something?
Yeah, he was. Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom. What?
Zookeeper?
Not Zookeeper. Oh, Here Comes the Boom.
Zookeeper.
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart 2.
Paul Blart. Zookeeper.
Zookeeper.
Paul Blart 3.
That
Even
movie.
Blartier.
I didn't laugh at that movie except for the karaoke scene.
Oh,
That
Paul
scene-
Blart.
That the rest of that movie, I didn't laugh a single time. But that the blonde guy with the long hair,
That's his brother, yeah.
yeah, that was killing me, dude.
Oh, Kevin James' real brother?
Yeah, the one that was on the show but has a different name.
Yeah, when he was doing the
Played his cousin in the show.
the faces
right?
he was doing on the
Yeah.
I don't know why.
How do you think
Cracked
Chris
me up.
Farley feels up in heaven, knowing that he's been replaced by Kevin James and that crew with Sandler and Spade and all those
Yeah.
guys? That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
15 minutes. That was the De Niro movie he was in.
Never
Yeah,
heard of
where
it.
he was like
was
they
pretty
did
good.
snuff films and he had a camera or something.
Yeah, he always filming stuff, but it was actually a decent movie.
Now it would just be vlogging.
It was De
seemed
Niro
weird.
and Edward Burns, the guy from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, you mean any one of the 30 actors that are in the movie that we know?
One of the ones that survived through the whole thing.
One of the Edwards. So it was Burns, not Norton, not Furlong.
Oh, Norton. That's you just made me think of it. Fucking
Ed
fat
Norton.
ass from American History X, Ethan Suplee.
Skinny
yeah.
No,
like all
jacked.
ripped.
Yeah, Jack.
Oh my god!
Like super
I knew he
ripped.
lost weight 'cause he's been losing weight on
Yeah.
like basically for like 10 years.
Another person that's jacked now is
They said he used
Kumail.
Oh yeah, he got jacked for a movie though.
Yeah.
Suplee just did it for the hell of it.
But
Well, actually, no. Like I read something that just last week that they were showing like all this video of
Yeah.
him and stuff, but he said that he did it to curb his addictions.
That
too.
too, but he started doing the working out, the muscle, the bodybuilding because when he got down to a certain weight, he was too skinny.
Yeah.
so he wanted to put more mass back on.
Yeah,
but
so-
with the Kumail,
But he was 500 pounds at one point.
for that last season of
Silicon
Silicon
Valley.
Valley, he was always like a frumpy Pakistani.
Yeah.
So he was already in shape while they filmed that last season. So he had to wear like multiple shirts.
Yeah, I read
underneath
something about that, yeah.
It's like, and you could tell now that I know that when I was watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, his face did look like different.
Yeah, he got.
that's the one Craig was saying that his stand up was fucking funny. or
He's a
something.
funny dude.
I mean, I've seen him in a TV show, a movie, or whatever. But
Yeah, he was in
but Craig,
Stuber.
Craig said that he had that he did a stand up that was like really funny.
I did not like The Big Sick at all.
I heard it was so good, and I have not watched it yet. But the people I know that saw it didn't like it, but critics loved it.
It was not bad by any means, but it was just so like it was more of a romantic comedy than it was like an outright
Yeah.
comedy.
Did you see Stuber?
No.
I'm always kind of leery, but I think Dave Bautista is actually a decent actor,
Batista's funny.
surprisingly. So I'm sure it's probably funny. I just haven't watched it
We
yet.
talked about this though. He's my favorite character in the entire Marvel universe.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah,
Drax.
Drax is my favorite of all the characters.
It's just I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, that's what Kamal's doing. The Eternals comes out Thanksgiving.
I had one more thing I want to talk to you guys about as a show note. Is me and my buddy were talking about the rise and fall of Dane Cook.
Oh God.
Oh,
So
yeah.
at one point,
His brother embezzled a
well,
shitload
no, I
of
mean
his
like
money.
I just
Oh,
want
for real?
I
His
just
career in general, though.
Did you ever? I like Dane Cook. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
I like him. I think he's funny, but I never put him on the pedestal as like one of my favorites ever. I was like, this guy makes me laugh. And when he became, because I saw him on a special where he had like the black tank top before he was a big star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's the one.
That's what everybody
one
said.
everybody saw,
That's the
yeah.
greatest
And then
one.
he took off, and I was like, that guy was funny, but he's never going to be my favorite. But I laughed, and then he became the star, and I was like, okay. And I was always like, why does everybody like this guy that much?
Yeah.
And then it fucking took a huge fucking 180 where everybody just fucking hated him, and I was like, what happened?
He was one of the guys who really got accused of joke stealing.
But even
badly.
but he actually took that on head on, and even did the thing on the Louis show.
Yeah,
where
that's true.
they talked about it, and Louis like, I know what happened, man. He's like, you were just a rocket ship that was taken off, and everything around you was just kind of there, and some of it kind of seeped into your subconsciousness. And it's no different than musicians. I mean, there's bands that write songs that sound like other bands'
Yeah.
songs, and they've never heard that band's songs. There's only so many jokes, and
No, it's true.
and only so many guitar riffs and drum beats. Shit's gonna fucking
wasn't that like Mencia too? Wasn't Carlos Mencia?
Well,
they
Mencia
like
was a firm
he
stealer.
was a flat out
Yeah.
stealer though, man.
Where Dane Cook was.
I don't
not-
think Cook.
can happen.
It didn't seem to me
Whereas
that he was.
Dane Cook's jokes were similar to other jokes, but they weren't flat out just the same
Well,
joke.
Like
Yeah.
even me, I'm not even a comedian at all. I'm nothing. But I always kind of, I always went around telling the Greg Giraldo joke. Okay,
Yeah.
about like people always talk about like when you can't use your dick anymore, you got the Viagra, and then they're finally gonna be ruled by logic and reason for the first time in their life. He said, "You don't need Viagra. Why don't you just accept your dick don't work, and then you'll do a lot of great things." Because I had a similar saying. I wouldn't even call it a joke. I'd say like, "Why do these old guys want to use their dick again?" Then it's all you think about sex again.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do? You can like create stuff. Well,
Yeah.
It was not exactly, but if I were a comedian, I would have told that joke and then been accused of stealing that joke from them.
Yeah.
And that was just something I said. I wouldn't even say it was a joke. It was something a point I would make.
Yeah, there's things I've came up with my friends where like we were like made a joke or we thought of something that's funny, and then like maybe months later we found out that was a part of someone's stand-up routine.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing that, there's definitely a way that there's other comedians who that's their fucking job.
Yeah.
Are coming up with jokes that have already been made.
What is Dane Cook doing now?
I don't know, but I feel like his trajectory to the top and then his fall from grace and the backlash is like so fucking bizarre because the people that built him up like tore him down so hard, and I always just was like, he's funny but not that funny. He's funny but he's not unfunny. Like it was always just like he was just kind of there for me.
Like that when we were talking about that
I didn't think he was funny at all.
That
You
first,
never liked him, Jeff?
That first stand-up.
Jeff, you
No.
just pop in out of nowhere.
That first stand-up where you said like he was wearing the black tank top, he was just like he's really animated. Like he wanted to do the B&E. He'd never done a B&E. He wanted to try a B&E.
Yeah.
Boom! That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, yeah, dude, that's
Yeah, it's
like,
just- he's hyper.
because that was like, all right. That's something I thought about. Hey man, I would like to kick a door in at one time in my life.
There's also a thing too. You get accused, like if you're out of style and everyone hates you all of a sudden, even if people that don't hate you that much are like, "Oh God, that guy's horrible," then you get people get on a fucking mob train against you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like, I saw he did some movies and stuff, and I know he did some other stand-ups, but when I saw him it was with Dave Attell, and Dave Attell had, like, several other comedians, like, go out on the road with him. Mm-hmm. And I watched that, and they were just, like, showing him hanging out and doing their stand-up and stuff, but I was like, that was good. He was good in that, too. And I'm like, but... fuck all the movie. The movie, I don't know. He did one with Jessica Simpson.
A comedian's acting career is bullshit. Because look at Eddie Murphy. He's one of the best stand-ups ever. His acting career is garbage for the most part when you think about it.
I really like Coming to America.
Coming to America is fantastic.
Coming to America.
They're making a second one's coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna suck, but first one's great.
Yeah.
And
Coming to
also
America is like,
Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They didn't make a part 3. Have you seen his Dolomite movie?
No.
I've heard good things.
No.
But I was gonna say about Dane Cook, Employee of the Month was actually okay funny.
Yeah,
what was one
remember
after
it.
that though?
Dax was in it too, right?
Dax and
Yeah.
He also played the head chef in Waiting, which was funny.
Right.
yeah.
That's
See, if
right,
he's
he
in it, it's
went,
fine.
yeah.
If he's starring in it, it's different.
Yeah.
If he's
That's right.
if he's a-
That's the way I feel about Seth Rogen.
Yep.
Like, if Seth Rogen's in the movie by himself, he's not funny. But if he's in there with, like, Franco or somebody, like Pineapple Express or 40-Year-Old Virgin, he's funny. But when he's in a movie like Observe and Report where he's the main star,
I love that
he
movie.
sucks.
See, Observer and Report, I think they didn't do themselves any because it came out the exact same time as Paul Blart,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
they tried to make it seem like the same month even. It was like or the month
But that's
before.
Jody Hill, and that movie's dark.
But that's the
It
thing
is a
though.
dark
They tried to
movie.
play it off like it was like a comedy. Everybody's like, oh, it's a wacky comedy, and they kind of didn't advertise it as a dark comedy.
I just know that
like
dude's
that-
humor. He's just date raping Anna Faris at one point, and she's just fucking a corpse, and she's like vomit all over her mouth. Oh, keep going. It's like
I like the part. I like the part where they listen in to see the big fail where he gets turned down for the police job, and the guy gets out and goes, "I actually listened to make fun of you, but this is actually kind of sad. I feel bad." He just walks
and
off.
that movie might have one of the best endings of any movie ever.
where they shoot the dick guy.
the
Street-
streaker running to Where Is My Mind, the Pixies cover.
Yeah, and he just shoots him.
And then shoots him, and then he's like, "Oh fuck!" There's just blood everywhere on a naked guy.
Oh man, that part was good because Ray Liotta's the actual cop and doesn't even arrest him or anything. They're just shooting the guy. He goes, "Thanks, Ronnie." He just leaves him there.
But then the whole part of that too is that Seth Rogen the whole time is in a feud with Aziz, who's like the cell phone accessory
Yeah.
guy, who actually looks exactly like one of those guys.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then in the midst of chasing the streaker, he just slow-mo knocks the fuck out of him. Just punches and blood just shoots out of Aziz's mouth.
Yep.
All right, guys.
We're running up against time, aren't we?
We're about to run out of time. But
Later.
yeah, bye. But we got
Bye-bye.
a few minutes. Jeff, thanks for joining us from Hillbilly Havoc. You got anything coming up, Jeff, at all?
Yeah, we're recording an episode right now, the rise and fall of MTV.
All right.
How it used to be
Oh.
great and now it sucks.
True. Good episode. I'll
Well,
listen to that.
Talk about the
Well,
spring breaks. Talk about the spring
is it
breaks.
still called music television?
Spring break. Nope.
Spring break.
Media. Them stands for media.
Oh, the M stands for media.
Oh, does it now?
What about Daisy
think so.
Fuentes?
Daisy
Oh,
Fuentes.
yeah.
Dan
Daisy
Cortez.
Fuentes.
Dan Cortez.
Duffy.
Yeah. All right. Al, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, guys.
Brian.
It's a privilege to be here.
Thank
and
you.
Jay. And I'm Mike. And we got to go.
YouTube.
YouTube. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on all social media. Check us out.
Subscribe.
Radio Underground. Subscribe to
Bye.
anything we do. God, that's loud. Oh, I got it up for Jeff. That's why.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground.